record on this computer? We're recording right now, okay? So, okay, so share. Now guys, 102 here, okay? You can simply right click on 102 and you'll have a choice. For example, if you right click, it says, sorry, you have here rename. Okay, rename it to foundation plan. So this way, when you're going to drag it onto your sheet, that's the name that you're going to see on the drawing. So if you want, rename the 102 to foundation plan. And this way, I've already done, I apologize, I should have waited, but in other words, like, so foundation plan. So right click, go to rename, give it the name like foundation plan. And this way, like I said, when you drag it on your sheet, it's already going to be, have the right name on the sheet. At any time, you can go back and rename this. But now, what I like, now you'll notice that here, you'll notice that I've already done this. I'm sorry,
Sir?
Yes.
Is your foundation slab already installed?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Like, what I'm trying to show you is like what you need to do to plot, okay? And then after that, don't look at my drawing. My drawing is not complete, and this and that. I just want, because what I want you to do, I want to show you how to plot. So like, for example, one of the first things you should worry about, okay, is down here, make sure you have the right scale. 1/8 of an inch is equal to a foot. Does everybody have that? At the bottom left-hand corner where it says scale, it should be 1/8 of an inch is equal to a foot. As a matter of fact, that's the first thing you should set in your view, so that when if you know that you're going to eventually plot or print at that scale, all your annotations and everything will be at the right scale. So just make sure that this is at 1/8 of an inch equal to a foot here, okay? At the bottom, that's number one. Now, if you just go slightly over, and where I'm, okay, here, okay, is where you, okay, this is how you crop your view. In other words, if I click this on, okay, right now, I probably already did this. I apologize, I shouldn't have done this, but right now, if this is really big like this, okay, if this is really big, okay, what you should do is click on it, okay, and bring it in as close as possible. What you're actually going to be doing is that you're going to be cropping the view that you're going to be dragging onto your sheet. And you'll be able to place it much easier if you crop this. So crop your view right now, okay? And make sure your view is basically what you want to put on the sheet that you want to plot. So that's the first thing you should do. So right here, okay? So this here, if you click right next to it, that hides it. If you click on it, that shows it. So hide it once you've cropped it to the size you want, okay? You can hide it. So this way it won't show up on your sheet. And here, if you never want to crop your view, if there's an X, it will never crop your view. So if there's an X there right now, click on it again, it removes the X. So you should always crop your view so that when you're going to be dragging on your sheet, you'll be able to fit it easier onto your sheet. If you don't, it's going to be oversized and you have to maybe play around with it a little bit more. So that's the first thing. Yes.
The crop function.
I'm sorry, I can't because you're not speaking to your mic.
Oh, where's the crop function?
It's like, see where the scale is at the bottom left corner? You see scale?
Yep.
And then next to it, you see this one where you can do and then right over, this is the crop.
Okay.
Those two blue lines. So so if there's no X there, don't worry about it. Right next to it, like right now, mine has been turned on. And therefore, when I click on it, these are the drag points. I can make it bigger, I can make it smaller, okay? So you crop your view and make sure that you crop it. Okay, so once you cropped your view and you think you're ready to do it, now, with all these Autodesk programs, there's always more than one way to do anything. So the first thing you want to do is you go down in the view browser and you see where it says Sheets. Okay, in the view browser it says Sheets, and there you can right click, okay, and just ask for a new sheet. Now I'm not going to do it right now, but you can do that. The other way you can do it if you want, that's one way. You go to view, right? Like I said, there's up here under view, you have sheets. If you click here, you're going to get the same thing. So you can do it through view here, or you can simply in your view browser, go down, make sure you're on sheets, okay? You right click and then just click new sheets. Now, this is, do you guys get the same menu that I have in front of me?
Yes.
Okay, now,
Yes.
okay, now this here, there's only one sheet size right now, okay? Now, if you want, you can go and you can load different sheet size. So if you press load, okay? Now, I don't know if you guys downloaded the US. Here, unfortunately, when I downloaded, I didn't have very much. So what I had to do is I had to go get, okay? Like if you downloaded the US families, okay? You'll have one, I only imported what I needed for my drawing, but if you have all of them, you pan down until you go to title blocks. So if you have the US families, if you didn't download them, you won't have this, but don't worry about it. You'll be able to do it. You won't have to ever do it again because I worked something out for you. So if you come to, if you actually have downloaded all the families, under families here you have title block. If you click on this, so these are all the different sheet sizes that we have to plot on, right? This 8.5 by 11. So the A size, B size. Now, depending on the actual paper size that you have. So for example, if I want to plot on a C-size sheet, okay, I put open, and of course now that loaded it in. So now I can actually take that sheet size, press OK, and this size of sheet should, in theory, fit on a C-size sheet of paper. It already comes with a nice title block and all that. You can, of course, companies will always modify this. They'll put their company logo and all that, but it already comes up and so on. So,
Sir?
okay. Yes.
Last week you mentioned that you were gonna show us how to download these add-ons.
I did. I told you where to go. I told you where to go in Autodesk. It's up to you to download them.
Oh, okay.
I did that last week. So
Okay,
go to the end of the video.
Yeah.
I even showed you where in Autodesk and what you had to do, and you were able to download them. You understand?
Okay.
And then once you've downloaded it, the program is so nice because the program already has the path that it's going to actually store them in the right place for Revit. You understand? Okay. What I did is I just downloaded them and I saved them somewhere on my computer. I only go get the families that I need for my drawings, but you should download all of them. Okay?
I remember like we finished the course and like we were all saturated, and you said
all I'm saying is that last week I showed you where you can go to the Autodesk, and as a matter of fact, I think it's Knowledge Autodesk. I showed you where to go get it, okay, how to find it, and then at the same time, when you're there, which of the links can get you that, and it's all in the video. Okay.
All good.
So anyways, if it's not there, Virgil, don't worry about it. It's on the video, because I'll tell you what. So now this is your sheet, okay? Now, the way that, okay? Now, let me show you. Don't do this. I'm going to give you an example, okay? Like, you can drag any view onto the sheet, okay? So basically, for example, if I want my foundation plan, I click on my foundation plan, I drag it, and I place it, and there it is. That's going to be my foundation plan, okay? So I place it where I want, and don't worry, you can move it around, and that's how you basically drag your view onto your sheet. Now this here, okay, of course you should try to place it and center it, but you can move it afterwards. Like see here, I don't like this long line here, so I like to shorten this a bit. I like to shorten this a bit. So I shorten that. And if you're pretty well happy with what it is, okay, now you'll notice that, excuse me. Okay?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
How do you place the drawing on the sheet?
Okay, I'll do it over. Don't worry about it, okay? Okay, so first of all, is your sheet open?
Yeah.
Okay, so your sheet's open, right? Now, in your case, do you have, okay, so you can take any view in your view browser and drag it onto your sheet.
Oh,
Now,
okay, yeah.
look what I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to a 3D view, okay? See my 3D view, okay? Let's say I want this, okay? I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna go back to my sheet. Just stay on your sheet here. Where are my sheets here? Okay, if I want to have a 3D view, I'm going to drag, and of course I should have cropped my view, but there I can drag a 3D view on I can drag any view I want in my view browser onto my sheet. Okay, that's what I want you to understand. So once you're ready to drag the view that you want to create a drawing with, okay, so in my case, I'm going to take foundation plan, okay, and I'm going to drag it on. And you see, by cropping my drawing initially, I have an easier time of where I want to place my drawing, you understand? Now, like I said, here, because I changed the name of the view to foundation plan, it automatically puts it in here. And I can leave this as a long line, but I don't like that. I'll change that a bit, okay? Now, excuse me. Now, if once you've placed your drawing and you're happy with it, then of course, I can take this and move it where I want, you understand? And if there, for example, if I go back to foundation plan here, I just want to show you what Revit means, is that anything that I change in one view will automatically get changed into another view. I go back to foundation plan here. You'll notice that my crop area is still showing, right? So if I remove that crop area and I go back to my sheet, it's already, and now it's gone. So if you guys have your north arrows and the northeast elevation, you can right click on it and just put hide category in view. So you can hide whatever you want. Now, if you're happy with that, okay, then
So,
what I want, yes.
what if my drawing is too big to fit in the paper?
Because you didn't crop it.
I did my crop section.
But what sheet size are you using?
C size.
C size? This is a C size sheet. It's fitting perfectly.
Okay, let me try it again.
Try again. If not, go get it. For the first one, don't worry about it. Just get any sheet size, and then as long as you can put on the sheet, okay? Because I'm going to be looking at your line work that you did and what everything else. Now, okay. Now, if you zoom in here, okay, if you zoom in here, you can actually, if you want, you can if you have one, leave it as one, because I have already put another sheet, okay? And here, for example, you can call this assignment, oops. I'm going to call it, I'm going to capture it, assignment number 6, okay? And if you notice, like if you go back to your view browser, you've renamed it also in your view browser. Here where it says drawn by, okay? If you go to annotate, okay? You go to annotate and you want to put in some text. You you press the text, just click it anywhere, okay, and put your name, okay? And of course, if you want to, maybe you might want to move it up and over a bit. Okay, so there's your name. So you can add any text you want into the title block, call it assignment number 6, call it S1, and of course the next drawing we're going to call it S2. Assignment 6, you can put your name. And like I said, a lot of companies, what they'll do is like you can create your own title block and all that, but we're not going to get into that. So all I want you to do for now is have S1 here, put assignment number 6, and then put your name, so I have your name. And if you're pretty much happy on how you place your drawing and everything else, okay, then you're ready to plot. Now this sheet is being ready to plot. So what you're going to do is again, with AutoCAD, with Revit, you have a number of options. You can either go here and plot. I like to simply take this icon up on the top left-hand side where it says print. I click there, okay? And of course, you're going to print it to the Microsoft printer PDF, okay? Now, what you can do is you can do a bit of a setup, okay? Now, this is where it's going to actually go and get plotted to, unless you change the path. You know, you should know that by now. If you click on setup, okay? Well, this is where you can start setting up. So for example, now here, unfortunately, I don't have a C-size sheet. Why? Because I've got to go into my settings and I got to go and modify all of Microsoft PDF and be able to load a C-size sheet. I didn't bother doing that. So if you have a C-size sheet, in your case, just take C-size. If not, just take A3 for now, and that's be good enough. If you only have A3. If you have C-size, leave it on C-size, okay? Take A3, that's probably the biggest one. And like I said, Microsoft doesn't make it easy for you to actually keep adding different sheet sizes to your PDF printer. You have to go in there, really do a lot of modifications to your computer. I'm not gonna bother with that. Because if we were at school, we would be plotting to the plotter, and in that plotter, all the sheet size would be there, okay? So I don't wanna get into that. So now the thing that I do want you to do is that here, for example, here you have black lines. Make sure you're on black lines. You don't want it gray, you don't want it color, make sure it's black lines, okay? So this, and then of course, this is where the orientation and everything else. Now, if you're happy with what the settings here, of course, you press OK. Now, if you want, you should always preview to see what you're gonna be plotting. So down here, you got a preview. And if you like what you see, if it fits nicely on the sheet, if it looks good, in other words, if this is what I'm gonna see when you send it to me, don't worry about the scale. Oh, one thing I want you to realize, look down here. The scale automatically gets put into the title block of the scale that you drag the view in. And that's why if you have the right scale of the view, when you drag it in, it automatically puts the right scale. So if you're happy with the thing, of course, you simply say print, and of course, you're gonna get your, now print, okay? And you press OK. And it's gonna go, of course, you're gonna call it assignment number 6. Call it assignment number 6. Assignment number 6. Save it wherever you want in your computer, assignment number 6, save. Yes, in my case, I want to replace it, and there you go. Now, once you've printed it, what I want you to do is send it to me through Mayo right now, okay? Oh, I've lost you guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
I modified all like the sheet, like you said, like putting assignment number 6, writing my name, whatever. But I still haven't figured out how to drag my cropped drawing inside my sheet. So like I literally took the title block on top.
Okay, I'll redo it. Don't worry about it, okay? Because the first time we do this is going to be hard, okay? So.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Like,
if you want, I could share my screen and like we could do it like together.
yeah,
but...
share your screen and I'll show you how to do it.
No, good. What?
Oh wait, I gotta stop sharing first of all. Okay, share me your screen.
There you go.
Double click. Okay, so I'm gonna have to ask you to give me permission to request remote control.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so you have control of my mouse? Okay, perfect.
I think I do. Okay, so this is your sheet size, right? So like I said, right now, this here, you should have renamed it. Okay, you should have renamed it so this way it's gonna have the right name on the thing. So you should rename this to foundation plan. Oops. So when you drag on your sheet, it's gonna have, the name's already gonna be there, okay? Yes, okay. Now, I don't know, first of all, I'm gonna go to foundation plan. Okay, so you haven't cropped it very nicely, okay? You understand what I'm saying? Like you haven't cropped it very nicely. In other words,
Okay.
this is okay, like this should be cropped up to, like you should crop this. Otherwise it makes it more difficult when you drag it onto your sheet. So you have to crop, okay?
Right. Okay.
Okay, so by cropping, and you should have cleaned up that. Anyway, so you should have cropped it and all that. Fair enough. Now that it's cropped and everything, okay? Now, I just want to show you, okay? Now,
Yeah, no
you
problem.
notice that I've automatically gotten rid of those north, east, west, and south elevation signs, right? Okay, let me see. Yeah, okay. So you crop your drawing like this. Okay, you should have adjusted your grid lines. You know, these are little things that you should be tweaking, you understand? And
Okay.
here, all of a sudden, oh, sorry, this is no good. This is, you want to keep this, okay? So you crop your drawing, so this way when you drag it on your sheet, it's going to, now you might have a problem here. I don't know what sheet size you use, but you might have a problem here because this is quite big. You should have lowered these, you understand?
Okay.
So these are all things that you should be tweaking, you understand?
Right.
And like right now, I'm just gonna leave it the way it is, but these are things, when you, on your final exam, you do this, you're gonna lose like 5 marks for that, 3 marks for that, 8 marks for that. So keep that in mind, okay?
Okay.
Here we're just learning today, so you're just gonna be losing very little. So once you're happy with what you're gonna be doing here, you go back to your sheet. Go back to your sheet here, oh, sorry, okay? And so on this sheet, you can do whatever you want. You can drag whatever any view you want. So right now, you did all your work on foundation plan. So you press it and you just keep your finger down on your pick button and you drag.
Okay.
And once you drag and you release, there's your thing.
Okay.
Okay. Now you probably took an A1 sheet because it's really big. Okay.
Yeah.
But don't worry, leave it like that for now. I don't care. You see? Now you see, there's a lot of stuff in here. Now the first thing I like you to do is I like to adjust this here. You understand?
Okay.
I like to adjust that. And you see, like by changing the name, it automatically put the right name in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what you like, there is stuff in here, and then of course, like this here, if you want, you can move it around wherever you want and stuff. And if I go back to your view 100, okay, whatever you don't want to see on your sheet, you should hide it here. For example, see how I hid the
line
outside, okay?
Yeah.
So that, and even for example, like anything here that I don't want to see, I can simply right click and hide in view. We're going to be doing a lot of that today, so you'll get used to it. You can hide a lot of things in the view. It's just hidden in this view, not any other view. So that's good. Now, if I go back to your sheet, okay, so pretty well, that's what you have, okay? Like now, it looks a little lost. First of all, I should have checked to make sure you were on the right scale. Let's go back and do that.
Yeah, I was on the right scale.
Yeah, you're on the right scale. It's because your sheet size is like probably an A1 size, which is really big, you understand? So don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. Because like I'm not going to penalize anybody for that right now, so don't worry about that.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go back to here. Okay, so you know, it's like I took a C-size sheet and the drawing pretty well fit in there. So that would have been the right size sheet. At school, you would have run into a problem because we don't have any C-size sheets. We only have, I'm sorry, A-size sheets. We only have C-size sheets, but leave that the way it is for now. And then here, if you come in here, okay, this is for, you've already done it, great. So everything, your name is there. Now you're ready to plot. So basically you come up here and you say plot. And this is, you plot into a PDF. Okay, that's good. And basically you can, you can hit setup. And this is where, for example, you don't want it in color. You want it in black and white. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
And you want to plot it on the biggest, see, you have the same problem as I do. You have to go and literally, this has nothing to do with Revit. This is Microsoft. You understand? Microsoft has limited the number of sheets you have here. You would have to go in there and spend about 10 minutes reorganizing all of that in your settings to get in all the other sheet size. You follow?
Yep.
So right now we're just going to take this one here, press OK. Now we're going to do a preview. It's good enough for now, Virgil. You understand? But I would have taken something smaller. You understand? In terms, I would have even printed on a letter size.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying? You follow what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But leave it like that for now.
I think I have letter size in my things. I don't know.
Okay. All I'm saying is that printed on a letter, fit to a letter size, it'll probably turn out to be nicer than this. You understand?
Exactly. Okay, cool.
If you have letter size, print it to a letter size. Mind you, the sheet size. I don't think. Oh, you mean print it like? No, don't print it like here. Leave it like that. Okay.
Okay.
And then if you're happy, like I said, you're ready to print. And then of course here you're gonna have to go. We did the preview, right?
Yes.
So all you gotta do is say okay, and off you go. And don't forget, that's where it's gonna be placing your file. So remember this path. If you don't like this path, change it.
Yeah, I'm gonna change it.
Okay, change it. Okay, so from there on, I'll leave it up to you, and I expect you to send me your PDF. Okay.
All right, I'll stop sharing right now.
Okay, so stop sharing and.
Whoa.
Okay, how's that, Virgil? Good?
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Okay, so guys, send me your PDF. I'm gonna go and make sure I'm receiving all your PDFs, and then after that, we're going to Dawson, my Dawson. I hope you guys can still hear me. 3 Mayos. Oh, nice. I already got 3 of them. Mayos. So, Emmanuel, I got yours. Johara, I got yours. Yavor, I got yours. Okay, so I got 3 out of 5. So, okay. I'm gonna wait for your well, so far I got 4 of them. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So Yavor, I got yours, Johara, Emmanuel, and Ariana. So I'm missing 4 more.
Sir,
Yes.
could you teach me one more time on how to plot the drawing?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna have to you have to share your screen like I did with Virgil.
Sure. I just having a problem to shorten the line over here.
Okay, well, look, because Jimmy, what happens is that, okay, once you do that, it gets, you should have, this you should have adjusted. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna have to ask for remote.
Yep, I give you permission.
Give up remote. Okay. Sometimes if you click here, you should adjust this at the very beginning, Jimmy, you understand?
Oh, okay.
And if you don't do it at the beginning, then it becomes like, sometimes you can find, I forgot exactly, but there's a way that you can turn it back on, but it becomes very difficult. This is the first thing you should adjust, you understand? And right now I'm having trouble because I myself, if it was on my computer, I can probably do it, but look, I can't do it right now, Jimmy. So like I said, that's the first thing I adjust because I ran into the same problem. That's why I took this point here and I was able to drag it down. But right now, what you do, just leave like that for now. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just move it over, Jimmy. Like go back to your sheet, move it over. Now, okay, go back to your sheet, move it over. Like take it and move it over and leave it like that for now. You understand? But next time you'll know better. Like that's the first thing you should adjust. Try to click on it. It might open up the drag point. Click on the. Sometimes I found that by clicking on it.
No, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Okay, so that didn't work. So click back on the border. And this way, because like once I was able to, anyways, like I said, Jimmy, this is why you have to do the steps I tell you, otherwise you run into problems and it's not that easy with Revit. A very, very sophisticated program and very, very hard to deal with.
Yeah.
Now, leave it like that for now, that's good enough. And then just print it. Now to print, go here. See where it says plot?
No, I didn't see.
On the top here. I don't know if you can see my, see where it says plot at the top menu, Jimmy. Do you know what the top menu is? It looks like a little printer. Not there, not there, move over, there, right there, that's print. Okay, so now, okay. Now, pan this out, fly out the menu and go get the Microsoft PDF. Okay, now go to setup here, down, setup, and change, yeah, put A3, that's the biggest one. We all have the same problem. And go to here where it says colors, color, down, color, up there, yeah, pan that out. And put black and white lines. Black and white, okay? And then press OK. At the bottom, okay. At the bottom. Now, do a preview. Okay, it's too late. You should have done a preview, Jimmy. Okay? Now, store it somewhere and then send it to me. Give it a file name. Call it assignment number 6.
Okay.
And then send it to me, okay? Yeah, put your family name, assignment number 6, that's it, and then just send it to me. Okay. Okay? So you can stop sharing now. Okay, so that's it. And now, okay, let me just, oh shoot. I can't do this. Okay, hold on a second. So, where are we? Inbox. So Virgil, I got yours. I got, who am I missing? Assignment number 6, assignment number 6.
I'm having some trouble sending it, so just 1 second.
Okay, so I have Yavor, Johara, Emmanuel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm missing 3. Okay,
Sir,
yes.
do you think I can maybe send it later tonight?
No, I want it now or it's late. And if you send it tomorrow, you lose 50%. It's your choice. Your choice, Mateus. Either send it now or tell me you can send it later and you'll lose 50%.
Yeah, I'll have to send it later.
In that case, okay.
Yeah. No choice. Sorry.
That's all I'm saying. Like if you send it later, you're gonna lose 50% because it's late.
Yeah.
So it's up to you. Like I said, because like I'm willing to help you set it up, and like I did for the other 2 people, but right now it should be in by now. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, so can I get any more of these? Can I get any more of these? Whatchamacallit? Am I going to get any more emails now?
I sent it, sir.
Well, I got yours, Jimmy. So I'm only missing. Well, who am I missing?
Sir?
Christopher.
Yeah, 1 sec, sir. It's coming.
Is it coming?
Just 2 minutes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll be missing Christopher's because Mateus says he's going to send it tomorrow.
Well, I'll
Sir?
send it later tonight.
Well, whatever. You can send it
Yeah.
later. If it's 2 days late, you get 0 for it. So anyway.
Yeah.
Sir.
Okay, so Christopher, we're waiting for you. You're holding up the class. You understand?
Sir,
Yes.
have you told us how to do the North Pole last lecture?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna let's don't worry about that. Like how to show the north,
The North Pole.
the North Pole. I understand what you mean by the North Pole. Anyways, are you talking about the north direction on the drawing?
Yeah.
Well, that's just a tag. In other words, you have to go into your families, download it, and it just puts it in. So you have to know, you have to be able to find it where it is in your tags. You understand?
So I also just do the take by category.
Oh no. Okay. Well, look, Jimmy. Let's first look. I'm waiting for Christopher. Christopher, right now, I'm going to give you about a minute. After that, I'm going to get out of my Mayo. I have to keep going. So that's it. So that's it. Okay. So that's it. Okay. Now, guys, look what I'm going to do. First of all, have people had problems putting in the stairs on their drawing? Yes or no?
Yes, I did.
I don't.
You don't? Good. Okay. So for those of you that had problems putting on your stairs, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to send you a Revit. I'm going to send you a Revit file, and through Leah. Okay. I'm going to send you a Revit file through Leah. Well, let me go back to the home page.
Is that file gonna be available for everybody? Because I also
Yeah, it's going to be available to everybody. So we're all going to start we're all going to start fresh from this file. You understand? So this way, you guys are going to be able to continue from here on in. So, and that's why I wanted the things, because I basically I'm not even going to anything that, anyways, I'm not going to. Okay, so
I just sent it, sir. Sorry for the lateness.
let me just, yeah, okay, so I got it, Christopher. Okay, so sounds good. So hold on a sec. I just want to categorize this so that. Okay, so I'm going to send you right now, guys, a file back to home page. And I want you guys to open that file in Revit, okay? So I'm going to go to Leah and drawings. I'm going to documents and videos. I'm going to distribute a file stored on my video. I'm going to call this, guys, I'm going to be calling it assignment. Oops, sorry. Yes, assignment. I'm just going to call it assignment number 7 so you guys can have a different, okay? And I'm going to categorize it under assignments. I'm going to continue, choose a file, and I'm going to find where I stored it. Guys, give me a second, please. Dawson, drawings, oops, up, courses, drawings 2, Revit drawings. Okay, so guys, just let me know if you received it, because I just sent it, okay?
So, sir, we could close this Revit file and we could open it.
Yeah, in other words, yeah, just click on it and Revit will automatically open the file, okay? And let's start with that, okay? So let me stop sharing. So now what I'm going to do is, of course, I'm going to I'm going to go to Revit. I'm going to open up file number 7 myself.
Are we only going to be working on what you sent us?
Yeah, in other words, Emmanuel, we're gonna use this and finish the semester with it. And what I did is, I don't know, have you opened yours?
Yeah, so I still had everything else open.
What I'm
And
saying is that,
kind of open section 1. That's all I got.
oh, okay, that's the view I left it on. But if you want, you can go back to, you can change it around. Like it's just right now, it's just a, like it's a.
Oh.
Yeah, I left it on section because I wanted to show you that that's where we're going to start with. You understand? So I want everybody to be on that page. You understand?
Okay.
But hold on a second. Okay, I'm going to just simply stop this. No. So right now.
Is it normal that I only get section 1?
Yeah, I only put one section on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Why? I like, don't worry, don't worry about it. Like, what you're gonna, by the end of the day, you're gonna have like four or 5 different sections on that one file. So.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go and I just wanna, I'm reopening Revit here for myself. And I did it purposely because I want to put everybody at the same speed, you understand? So this way you guys can open. Okay. Okay, Dawson, courses, 2, Revit drawings. Why are you so goddamn? Okay, so I got mine open. Okay. So, just to make sure here. So when you open your file, this is what you saw?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so, okay, now you notice like I put the stairs in, okay, and everything else. But now, before we move on to this, I just want to talk about one, it's got nothing to do with what we're going to be doing today, but I want to talk about this. It's already 1:47. Well, yeah, I was going to show you how to make a schedule with Revit. You guys want to learn how to do that, or I can do that another day?
We can learn it today.
Learn it today? Okay. And like I said, this is just to show you how to make a schedule with Revit, okay? Now guys, follow me, and if I'm going too fast, slow down, because all of a sudden, it's useless for me to go on and then all of a sudden you've missed one step and you don't know where I'm heading at, okay? So, so if you want to learn how to make schedules, if you go to the View tab, okay? Everybody on the View tab?
Yes, sir.
Is everybody there? Like, in other words, okay, what we'll do from here on in, if I ask, is everybody in the View tab? If somebody isn't, just say no, and therefore I'll wait. So if I don't hear a no after about 5 seconds, I'll assume we're all there, okay? So on the View tab, here you see schedules. Everybody sees that? And you can fly out what's there, okay? So with schedules and quantity. So you click there, okay? Now, what do you want the program to gather for you in the model you've created, right? So you're gonna go down. like you can do one for all the stuff that you have, but we're going to pan down, pan down, pan down, okay? Pan down until, like, let's talk about, let's do a schedule for the foundations. How's that? Okay, we can do it for the walls, but we'll just do one for the foundation. So fair enough. So structural foundation schedule. And remember when we were creating the step footings, like we categorized it under F1, F2, structural foundations, so that the program now is also going to go get all those stuff that we modeled and put into our schedule. That's why it's important. Okay. So we're going to do one just for the foundation. Then you can do one for the walls and so on, and the columns and so on and so on. So, okay, now this here, okay, this is the different tabs we're going to go through. Right now you should be on fields. So right now, what do you want to put in your schedule? So do you want to have the area? Do you want to have the cost? Do you want to have, so therefore, like, in other words, in my case, what I want to have, of course, is the thickness of the foundation. For me, I like to see that in my schedule, so I'm going to put foundation thickness. Once I highlighted it, that little green arrow will transfer it to what I'm going to have in my schedule. So I've highlighted thickness, right? And I put it here. What else do I want to see in my schedule? Well, it's up to you, okay? You might want to have the length. So let's go down to length and put that in your schedule. So these are all the things you can include in your schedule. And you can have the manufacturer, so on and so on. What else do you like to have? The perimeter to me is not important, okay? So I'd like to have, for example, maybe I'd like to know what kind of material. I like to have the width of the foundation. I'd like to know the volume, because that's what I wanted to do to calculate. I want to calculate the volume. And if you're, you know, like whatever, maybe you want to have the structural material, you understand? So let's say, and like I said, it's up to you what you want to put in your schedule. So this is to me, now, right now, the order that you have here, that's the order that the schedule is going to, oh, I also want to know the type of foundation. Okay, so where's type? There's type, okay? So I'm also going to put type. Now, basically, if you don't rearrange these, that's how the schedule is going to have. It's going to have the first column foundation thickness, the second column length, width, volume, structural material, and type. Now, if you want to rearrange the order that the schedule is going to be sent, so like, I think the first thing we should have the type, the first thing in the schedule. So what you do is you click up and you bring type to the very top. So that's going to be the first column in your schedule. After type, you might want to have the length. You know, the second one, the length. And then the third one, the width. And then the fourth one, the thickness. Then the fifth, the volume. And so in other words, so if that's how, so this is how you rearrange, this is how you rearrange the order in which the program is going to actually, it's just like in Excel, the first column, the second column, the third column, the fourth column, and so on, okay? Now, once you finish organizing in which order you want and pick what you want on your schedule, okay, click on the next tab, okay? Now, sorry. Okay, now sort by, okay, so sort by the type here, okay? Go to the sorting and grouping, go to the type, okay? Sort by the type. And here is where you tell the program, if you're going to be summing up the calculations, this is where you tell the program, okay, that you want grand totals, okay? You want grand totals. In other words, you want the program to actually calculate the sum, okay? And so on. So sort by the type, ascending by the totals, okay? Now, excuse me. So you're going to want to have headers Now, if you want to have a blank line between each type, you put here a click, okay? And you definitely want to have grand totals. If you don't want to have that blank line between the types, then you don't have to click here. You can leave that blank. Like you could come back and modify this afterwards, but you know, like, so that's going to just leave a line in between each type in your schedule. If you don't want to have it, take that off, okay? Now, under formatting, okay, what you want to do is, of course, show conditional formatting since left horizontal typing. Where was this? Trying to remember, it's been a while, I haven't done this, guys. Horizontal calculation. Under formatting, oh, choose volume, that's right. Okay, choose volume, okay. Under formatting, you choose volume here. So in other words, and of course, you show here, calculate totals. So now you can choose calculate totals for length, but you just want to know the totals for the volume. Once you're happy with all of this information that you put in here, okay, so for example, if you want to know the length of all your foundations, you can put in lengths, you can put, so right now I'm just going to have, it's the volume that I care about, right? And if I'm happy, I'm going to press OK. And guys, okay, you don't see it right now, but I'm going to move this over, okay? And here's my schedule. So basically, here are all the types, okay? Here are all the lengths, here are all the things, this is that. And then at the end, if you go down, this is, if ever you want to know how much concrete you would need for your project, you would need 75.96 cubic meters of concrete just for your footings of what you see in your model. And of course, you know, at any time you can go back and modify this. And if you want, you can take this schedule and actually drag it onto your sheet, because this schedule now is going to be in your view browser, okay? So this is how, and then like I said, you can go back. So because we put here, okay, we organize in which order we want the columns on the very first time, okay? That's how and this gives you all the information that you've put in, okay? So for example, in F1, this is what it measures. Now, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, it calculated 6 times the F1, and therefore it calculated the volume for each one. And then of course the F2 only has 1 of them. The F3 has, so all, these are all, remember your step footings that you did. So these are all the step structural foundation. These are all the step footings that you created. And here's all the concrete for your step footings. So this side, and if you want, you can take this schedule and actually drag it onto a sheet, and you can have it, you know, send out the information. So that's how you make, yes.
Did you change anything for filter? Because earlier I just clicked OK, and like I didn't see the other menus, so like I got that schedule appeared, but then I had to restart it back over again. So
sorry, like sometimes, Virgil, I find that with Revit you simply start over, because sometimes what happens, it sends you God knows where, and you don't know how to get back. So I just start everything over, and
yeah. I just started everything over. So
exactly.
My question is, did you play with anything on filter?
No, I just skipped filter. I went from
perfect.
I went from schedules, then to the field tab. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Sorting, and then I went to formatting. I didn't do anything with filters. Understand?
All right. Perfect.
So okay. So anyways, now like I said, here I'm going to move this over. Okay. So that's and the nice thing about it is that this will be for anything in your project. You can do schedules, like for example, if you have doors, if you have walls, you can now create one for the walls. Okay. And of course, because you categorize them all the walls, it will calculate the length of all the walls. If you want, it can calculate the volume of concrete, and so on and so on. So that's the nice thing about Revit, is that when it comes to doing the estimates at the end of the day, if you want, you can actually put in what you think is a price and put in a price, and let Revit do the calculation of what the total cost would be of your foundation and so on. So not only can you get your quantity takeoffs, You can even have Revit do the actual pricing, okay? So this is, okay. Now, if I go back here, I don't know if you guys can see this, but if I go back here to section 1, okay. Now, if you look down in your view browser, okay. If you look in your view browser, you should be able to see here, okay, schedules, okay. There's your schedule, okay. So if ever you want, there's your schedule in your view browser. So if ever you set up a sheet and you want to put the schedule on a sheet to make a drawing, the same thing like you did for foundation plan, you set up your sheet and then you simply drag you come here, drag this onto your sheet, and then your schedule is on your sheet. So that's how you actually put the schedule on the sheet, okay? So there you have it. That's now, and of course you can have a schedule for the walls, you can have so many schedules. So I just wanted to give you a good overview of, you know, so that, like I said, if you guys want, it's going to be on the video what you need to do. And if anything, I can always review it later on, but this is how you do schedules with rivets. And it's a very convenient thing, especially when you, like you guys, I don't know if you've done your estimating class yet, but you can appreciate that with Revit, it will greatly simplify how to do your quantity takeoffs. The program will actually do it for you. You don't have to do the calculations yourself. Okay, so now let's go back. So for now, I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna go back to section 1, okay? I'll put my properties palette back to where I want it, in my view browser where I want it. Okay, so that was just to give you, you know, to give you a more appreciation of what you can do with Revit. I know it's a little bit cumbersome to actually, you know, go and model the things, put in the instances, make sure it's precise and all that. But you start seeing the benefits of this later on. You understand? You start seeing the what you can actually do with the program, which with AutoCAD, you probably can do it, but then you have to put in a lot more things, and then you can eventually get what Revit can do. Okay, so now we plotted our thing. I just want to make sure I haven't skipped anything. Right click on the sheet. Okay, so we did the sheet. So now what we'll do is we'll move on to assignment number 7. So basically, now you see one of the advantages of Revit, of course, with assignment number 7, right? If you want to do elevation EE, okay? Okay. So what I'm going to do now, you'll notice that right now, if you notice that right now, I don't have my slab shown in EE here. Does everybody notice that? Does everybody see that at the bottom of my steps, I don't have my slab that's should be on this section?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go back. Okay, so we're going to go back to, let's go back to 102. I didn't rename this. Okay, so let's go back to 102. Or yeah, 102. Oh, let's go back to 91.33. Okay, so let's go to 91.33. And so don't worry about the, okay. So right now, what we want to do is we're at elevation 91.33 and we want to put in a slab on grade, right? So if you go up to the structures tab, structures, okay. So is everybody on structures? If I don't hear no, I'm going to wait. Everybody's on structures, okay. And if you go towards the right, you see where it says slabs. You're not putting in a floor now, you're putting in a slab, okay? Now there's 2 types of slab. One does not have an edge, and this is the type of floor that we have. This is if ever your slab is also to have like a combined footing, then you have it with an edge. This is not our case. We just have a structural floor slab, okay? Now, of course, this slab is 150 millimeters thick. And what we need to do is, of course, we need to edit type. Now, like I said, I could duplicate this if ever I'm going to be using it. But since I'm never going to be using this one in my project, in this particular project, I'm simply going to rename it. Okay, and I'm going to rename it 4-inch foundation slab. So that I know, because if it's supposed to be a 4-inch slab. If you look at, okay, so I put 4-inch foundation slab. That's just a name. Now, of course, here I got to edit, and this is where I could create the thickness that's going to be actually placed. So I'm going to be putting in a 4 here. And now I've created a 4-inch slab. Can I press OK? Because once I press OK, I'm going to go back to the view. I'm going to go up to the, is everybody okay with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
So now I've created a 4-inch slab. I press OK. Now, of course, the easiest thing to do is, because I'm drawing a rectangle, the easiest thing to do is to simply use this drawing tool, the rectangle. Okay. And now the rectangle goes from this foundation wall here. You don't see it. I should have adjusted this. From this point here to that foundation wall there, that's where the slab goes. In other words, it goes in between those two walls because that's the wall of these stairs. And once I'm happy with it, I simply go and press the finish edit mode, the green check mark on top. Okay, would you like the walls? Say no, don't attach. Don't attach the walls to it, okay? And of course, now what happens is that I made a mistake, okay? And I did it purposely, okay? What's the mistake I made?
The slab is not connected to the footing on the left side.
Well, that's one mistake, okay? But that's not the mistake. Because you don't see it here, but that's not the mistake. Is the slab at 91 feet 4 inches? That's where I placed it, according to what I gave in information. But is the slab at that level? Okay, look, you guys stay here. I'm not going to come back. Like, I'm going to go back to my section, and you'll see what I'm saying. Is that where are my sections? Section, building section. Oh, here we go.
It needs to be 4 inches above.
Okay. You notice, look where I put the slab. Is that where the slab is?
No.
No, it's supposed to be right underneath the stair, right? Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I can do this anywhere. And I did this purposely because I want you guys not to panic, you understand, when you're putting something in, because if it's not correct, everything can get corrected in the properties palette. So basically, if I click on the slab here, okay, see in the properties palette, it says I'm working with the 4-inch slab here, right? So height offset, this is where I would adjust it and I would put it up by 10 inches. Press apply, and look what happens. Oh, sorry guys, guess what? I made another mistake. This slab goes, I made another mistake. It goes to this wall here. I chose the wrong wall. So I'm gonna redo it completely. Okay, so let me go back to elevation 91.33. Okay, so let me go back to 91.33. Now I'm gonna do it correctly. So I'm gonna pick this. Sorry, I'm gonna pick the slab. I'm gonna try to pick the slab. I can't seem to pick the slab for some reason. Oh, there it is. There, I picked the slab. I'm going to delete it. Okay, so basically the slab goes from here to there. So now I'm going to just go ahead and do it over again. Do slab, structural slab. 4 inch is good. Now I'm going to put the right offset so I don't have to go back and change that. Put that to 10 inches. Okay, so I got the right offset. I'm at the right elevation. I'm going to pick the right drawing tool and I'm going to go from this corner here of the wall all the way to the step corner of the wall for the, and now if I'm happy with it, press OK. say no, don't attach. And of course, if I go to my section now, there's a slab, okay? So guys, like I said, don't panic if you put an instant in your model and all of a sudden it's not where you want it to be. If all of a sudden you need to tweak the properties, see if you can get it correctly. If you can't, just delete it and do it over. I mean, don't panic, okay? Now, the other thing I wanted to show you is that right now, do I need to work with these levels here, okay? If I don't want to have this in my face when I'm working, okay, I can click on one of them. Okay, I can click on one of them, fair enough. And I can right click and I can say hide category and view. And look what happens. They're all gone. So therefore it cleans it up. I have less lines to work with. Fair enough?
Sorry, sir. Could you do it one more time?
Click on one of the levels, Jimmy. Pick one of the levels. Pick one of them. Understand? Pick one. Just one. Highlight one. Make one is highlighted, then right click on it. And once it's right click, put hide in view, put category. And it's gone. Okay, so there you've gotten rid of, so you have less lines to have to work with. Okay.
And if we want to show them again, what do we do?
Oh, if you want to see them again, okay. If you go here at the bottom, reveal hidden elements, you see right here at the bottom, it says reveal hidden.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you click on it and you right click and you put unhide in view.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I should have explained that. Okay, so how's that? And then of course, take off the ball, close it, and there you go, okay? So if ever you want to see if something is hidden in your view, guys, I should have explained this. Right here at the bottom, this little light bulb is reveal hidden elements. Okay? So this tells me what's hidden. Right now, there's nothing hidden in my view, except for these drag points or whatever. And then of course, so now I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna click on it, right click, I'm just gonna hide them in the view. Okay, hide category in view. If I wanna see them again, go, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is, let's zoom in to the stairs, okay? So you notice that in the stairs here, okay, there's a little bit of a cleaning up we have to do, okay? Because like I said, this, we're gonna take this, we might as well clean it up now, and then when we drag it onto our sheet, okay, first of all, guys, if you notice, this is 1/4 of an inch is equal to a foot, right? Now, in your view browser here, does everybody see section 1? Okay, so now, right click on section 1, right, and rename it. Rename it and call it elevation. Oh, it should be in caps. I should have capped mine. Okay. Elevation E. Okay, so this way, when you drag it on your sheet, it's going to have the name elevation EE. Okay, even though it's a section, we're just going to keep the same name. Okay, so that's one thing you should do, and make sure you're at 1/4 of an inch. This way, all your annotations. Okay. Now, you'll notice that, let's go clean up some of this stuff here, okay? So you'll notice that here the wall, of course, we had modeled it correctly, okay? But unfortunately, this wall is too high, right? So all you want to do to this wall is simply drag it down until it does not, drag it down below the step. Okay, so this way, we don't have to worry about, fair enough? Just drag it down. Now, unfortunately with Revit, like I said, the best thing to do sometimes is simply do some line work and clean up the line work right away, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to modify, okay? So with Revit, I don't break my head. What I do is I simply go to line work, invisible lines. Well, I don't wanna see this line anymore. And I don't wanna see this line anymore. and I don't want to see this line anymore, and I don't want to see this line anymore. They're all, like, the lines are gone, okay? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to redraw. So then once I've erased what I don't want to have, I go to annotate, and I do the line detail. Make sure I'm on lines, okay? And then of course I can start drawing the line from there down to there.
Can you
Just-
repeat that, sir?
Yeah, which one do you want me to repeat? I'm gonna undo.
Yeah, just deleting the lines. Can you repeat
Okay,
that?
to delete the line. So you gotta go to modify. Okay, let me undo everything then. So, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the lines that are the edges of my instances that I put in, okay? And unfortunately, like, so, and remember, whatever I am modifying here is only going to be shown in this view. It doesn't, like, if you go to 3D, you won't see these lines modified. Or if you go to another view, you won't see these lines modified. So what you want to do is you want to go to your line work here. Are you there?
Yep.
Now, if you've panned this out, this is all the line work you can do. Right now, you want to make your lines invisible. Make sure it's on invisible.
Okay.
And then simply pick the lines that you want to make invisible. I don't want to see that anymore. I don't want to see that anymore. I don't want to see that anymore. Fair enough? Now, what I'm going to do now, once I've erased it, I'm going to now put in some drafting lines. Go to annotate, detail line. Now make sure you're on lines here, under line style. If it's not, pan out and go get lines, okay? Now I'm gonna put a line here and I'm gonna go down to here. Now I don't know if you guys have worked with this probably, but
Detail line.
now
Okay.
press escape only once. You can go move it, okay? But now I can come here, down to here, and go up until I intersect there. Then I can go down and I'm gonna go to this endpoint here. Press escape, escape, and now I've cleaned up, see? So now I've cleaned up my act. So this is the line work that's required when you want to take your view and start preparing it so that when you drag it onto your sheet, you've already cleaned up your line work so you can easily drag it into your sheet. Now, I want everybody to pan into one of these footings here, okay? Now, if you look at the cross section, right? If you look at the cross section here, you happen to have a keyway, a shear key, right? In between the wall and the strip footing. This is the wall here. Okay, here's my wall. I mean, this, okay? Now that's a line detail, so I can't pick the wall anymore. And this is my footing. So pick the footing, okay? Now, so this is the footing here. That's the strip footing underneath the wall, and of course the wall is above it, okay? Now, if you go to, excuse me, if you go to view, sorry, like I keep getting this thing in my face and I don't want it. Okay. Now, if you go to view, okay? Is everybody on the view tab? I'm assuming you're all there, okay?
Yep.
And on the view tab, you have this thing called cut profile. Now they're going to show you how it works, okay? In other words, this is really stupid, okay? And there, okay? Okay, so guys, the video is a little misleading, okay? So you don't have to, okay, so what I'm going to do is, of course, I'm going to do cut profile. This is the profile I want to cut, right? So right now, I'm going to, this wall is 12 inches, so I'm going to move over by 4 inches, okay? 4 inches. I'm going to go down by about 2 inches. Like, you don't have to make it, okay? I'm going to move over by about 4 inches. I'm going to go up 2 inches. Okay, now press escape, okay? Now, you'll notice, guys, you see the little arrow here? Well, the arrow points to which side it's going to keep. If you want to keep this side, then the arrow is pointing the right way. If you point to the other side, it's going to, so it tells you which profile you want to keep. So if I press the OK sign up here, the finish mode sign, okay, if the arrow was pointing the other way, it would have deleted all the and only kept the keyway. So the arrow tells you which profile, which the profile is going to keep. Keep that in mind. You can just click on it and it will flip. Now, of course, you don't see anything here, so we got to go back to line work, right? Invisible lines, and I have to erase this line, and there you go. Now that's all cleaned up. Oh, there's another one, so I'm going to go. Now, of course, look what happened. I erased the other line that was behind. Now I got to go back to my line detail. So this is the thing about, okay. Now, if I can erase this line. Now I got no more lines, and so on and so on. Now, since I've erased all my lines, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to annotate. And I'm simply going to put in a detail line, and I'm going to put a line from there to there, press escape, put a line from there to there, press escape. So I'm cleaning my drawing up now so that I either do it now or later on. Now, the keyway, okay, you guys, I'd like you to practice and put the keyway under here. I'll let you do this later on. Okay, that's something I'm going to look for when I correct your assignment. Okay, so practice the keyway here. See if you get the same thing. Okay, and we're going to move on. So I'm not going to do it right now. I'll let you guys do that. Now, you'll notice that. Okay, you'll notice that on the edges of the drawing, okay? I don't know if you noticed that, but let me just do some annotation, okay? Annotate, okay? If you notice, like we have here some break lines, right? Everybody sees that? Okay, now if you want to put those break lines in, okay? Now, of course, these things are not going to be in my way. Now, unfortunately, okay, you're going to have to load. I've already loaded it on this drive, on this drawing. I've already loaded the break line. But if you guys are starting from scratch, I'm going to show you where you go get the break line. Okay, so what you got to do is you got to go to Insert. So this way, at least it's going to be on the video, and you guys are going to be able to review it. Okay, so you go to Insert, you go to Load Families. Okay, and of course, it's this Canadian, I go to the US Imperial, and there's one thing here called annotation. Sorry, I've downloaded like this, you're gonna see detail items. Then you gotta go into Division 1, and this is the break line. So you click on that, you press OK, and now you've loaded that into your drawing. But I already did that, so don't worry, it's already in there on this drawing. But I'm just showing you where you find the break line and how to load it into your file from your library. Now, to actually put in the break line, you've got to go to the annotation. So I'm going to wait for everybody to go to annotation. Everybody sees where component is. Okay. Component detail. Okay. And there is your break line right there. So now just place it anywhere. It doesn't matter. Place it anywhere. Okay. Now you'll notice that I'm going to escape for now. Okay. Now there is my break line. If I click on it and if I press the space bar, it rotates it. Okay. So the space bar rotates the break line. That's number one. Okay. Now, if you want, you can make it bigger by stretching it out. And of course, you want to cover all of this. So this covers whatever is going to be hidden by the break line, okay? And at the same time, you can come and play in here with these things here. Like in other words, you can make this, you understand? You can play with you can make them a little bit bigger. So you play around with it until you like the size. Okay, you can drag all these things out, and if you're happy, there's your break line. And you notice that whatever's behind this box all gets covered up by your break line. So now don't worry, we're gonna hide this in the view, okay? So there is your break line, and of course, what you should do is practice to put one on this side. Now, just because the drawing has 3 break lines, you don't have to have 3 break lines, okay? Now, if you wanted to have 3 break lines, you just then drag 3 of them, okay? And you would put one on top of the other, you have 3 break lines, but one of them is good enough. That's how you put break lines in Revit. First, you have to download it, and you see the path you have to follow, right? You have to go to detail, you got to go to division 1, blah, 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 and you can finally find it. And then after that, now it's downloaded, and that's your break lines. Okay, now, the bulk right now, guys, I want you to pay attention because you're going to be doing this for this assignment. You're going to be doing it for the next assignment, okay? Especially the next assignment where you're going to be doing a lot of placing reinforcing steel. So I'm going to take my time and I'm going to let you guys, okay, I'm going to let you guys, oh, okay. Before we get into the reinforcement, I just want to finish one last thing. Okay, now you notice that here, right? You notice that here, I don't have the line for the slab, right? In other words, now the reason why I don't have it is because I didn't put a floor into my model. If I would have put the floor, I would have seen the dotted line here behind the slab. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in a detail line to represent that floor, okay? So basically, what you can do, you know that, so for example, if I go to line detail, right? But now I'm not going to ask for a subtle line, I'm going to ask for a hidden line, okay? And what I'm going to do is, I know the floor is here, and it goes right up to there, okay? Now, I don't care about this, but what I can do is once I click on it, I can stretch it down and make it a little bit smaller. You follow? Okay. Now, you'll notice that this line is not very good because it goes all the way to the top. So therefore, what I'm going to do is, of course, if I can't trim these 2 lines, which I probably can't because this is behind and this is in the front, I'm going to see if it works, but it probably won't work like with AutoCAD. Like this is the trim command, that line, no, it doesn't work. So therefore, I have no choice here but to actually go do the line work, make this one invisible, right? And unfortunately now put in a detail line, make sure it's a hidden line, and go from there to there. Now, once I've done that, guys, okay, then what I can do is I can go ahead, pick this line here, press Control, pick the other line. Now with this here, I can use mirror, okay, mirror draw an axis or mirror pick an axis. Now if I have a line, I can pick an axis, I will pick an axis, not I will draw an axis, I will pick an axis, and that's the axis. And look at that, okay? Now you'll notice that you still see the line here.
Where's the mirror command?
Okay, I'll do it over. I'll go back. Sorry, guys. Undo. Okay. The mirror command is first, like, who asked me the question?
Me, Yavor.
Yavor. Okay, so Yavor, with Revit, you first pick either the instant or the element that you want to work with first. Okay, so you got to pick this, and of course, I hold the control button to do a I pick those 2 things, right? That's the first thing. Then, if you go to make sure you're on Modify here. Are you on Modify tab?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you have 2 choices. You can mirror, you can draw an axis, which is what you do with AutoCAD, or you can pick an axis. So here, since this is the axis that I'm going to mirror about, I can simply say pick an axis. And then I'll show you if you need to do with draw an axis, right? So pick an axis. I'm going to pick this axis here, and there you go. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Now, what I'm going to do, okay, what I'm going to do, of course, okay, is these two lines are nice, or what I need to put here and here, right? So what I'm going to do now, of course, I'm just going to do some line work, guys. I mean, it's not, okay, so I'm going to make invisible lines. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of this, and get rid of that. So therefore, I can do my line work. So I know that this is what I want to have. So therefore, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'm going to pick this line here, hold the control button, pick that line there, okay? And of course, I'm going to use the copy command. There's copy. And I'm going to say multiple. And therefore, I'm going to pick a point, for example, this point here, and I'm going to go over to here, and I'm going to go move over, and I'm going to go over to here. And there you go. So now I've got my, I put those in, and then of course now I go back to my annotate, my line detail, my hidden lines, and I just go back and put those. Okay, from that endpoint, I go down.
Sir?
Yes.
To do invisible lines, it's on the
You have to,
annotate
okay,
tab,
so
right?
look, to do invisible lines, guys, you make sure, okay, let me just, because this menu keeps popping out. First of all, are you on modified tab?
Yes.
Then this is your line work icon, see? Or just type in WL. If you like typing, just to type WL. That's line work, okay? Now, okay, let's save it, okay? So now, okay, so now save it. It takes long, okay? Now, this is where you fly out what you want, okay? So you can this is where you pick that, and then whatever line you're gonna pick now, it's gonna make it invisible. I don't wanna make anything invisible, so I'm not gonna pick anything. You follow?
Right.
So as soon as you pick something, it's gonna make it invisible. I'll give you an example. If I pick this, it's gone.
Okay.
Okay. So now I'm gonna undo that. I didn't wanna do that. Now guys, you notice that I drew a line here. Now I can go and keep drawing lines, or what I can do is like, again, I pick the line, right? And this is why I like to use like mirror the line with, with an axis there, and there is done. So that's already done there. Now I click there and I click there. Now, guys, this is not Revit. This is my AutoCAD talents that allows me to use Revit. So now I'm going to use the copy command, and I'm going to take this point here, and I'm going to go here, and I got it done. Okay. So guys, don't be afraid to copy things just like you do in AutoCAD to make things a little bit faster and so on and so on. Okay. So now we've put in like our line detail for our slab, and then here back here, since I don't want this to pop up out of my drawing, I'm simply going to shrink it into here. Okay. And that's it. So that's going to be one last thing to worry about. Okay, so guys, I think we've pretty well prepared the line work for our drawing, okay? And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna be putting it like, okay, don't forget, if you look at the elevation, because I might be jumping here, but I might as well we'll worry about that later. Okay, now, I'm going to start placing the reinforcing steel, okay? Now guys, zoom in to the stairs. We'll start with the stairs, okay? Okay, so this is where we're gonna be. Try to, give yourself, zoom into the stairs. Is everybody there?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, so go to the structures tab. Right? Now, before you place any reinforcement, guys, okay, you should make sure that the instant, and the instant means the element that, like, for example, you should make sure that the instant has the right cover. Does anybody know what cover is in reinforced concrete? Don't be shy. I don't expect you to know that, but does anybody know what cover means?
Nope.
Okay. Now, cover, and I'm going to draw it here, okay? Cover is the distance from the face of whatever you're pouring to where you're going to be placing your steel. That is called cover. You understand? In other words, the distance from the face of the element to where your reinforcing steel is going to be placed inside your element, that is called concrete cover. And then depending on what you're doing, there's different covers for different things, okay? So the thing is that the first thing you should adjust when you're worried about placing reinforcements, to make sure you have the right cover. So this way, when you're placing your steel, the program will automatically put it to that cover. So let me clear the drawing here. Okay, now. Okay, so if everybody's on the structures tab, right? Now, of course, you guys, what you don't realize, okay, I want you guys to look at the drawing. Look at the drawing. Let's start with this wall here, okay? Does anybody see what the cover is between the reinforcing steel and the face of the wall?
Isn't it 1.5 inch?
Exactly, that's 1.5 inch. So that's the cover that you need for that one, okay? What is it for the stairs?
Same thing.
Exactly, okay? So this is what you have to look at, okay? Like, what do you think it is for the footing? They don't show it there, but it's badly drawn, but it should be 3 inches on the underside, okay? You see that on the typical footing pier. When you're placing rebars on the footing and the concrete is going to be placed against the earth, you should have 3 inches of cover, and that's what they show you on the typical footing pier, okay? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go and adjust cover. So what we're going to do is that here, see here, cover? So click on that. Now, I want you to click Edit Cover at Settings here. Now, see that these are the green lines that show you what are the covers that the program put in by default. Okay, so these are the covers. Now, I want you to click here, and you notice that it only has one cover. Okay, so I'm going to edit this one. Okay, and I'm going to change this to 1 inch. Oops, sorry. 1 inch, okay? Now, I'm going to have a second one, okay? Now, the second one is going to be called 1 1/2 inch. And of course, here I'm going to change this to 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to add another one, and this one's going to be, I'm going to leave that one to be 2 inches. I might need a 2-inch cover because sometimes that's what it needs. And of course, here I'm going to be putting 2 inches. So in other words, I'm creating all the covers I'm going to be needing. I need one that's going to be a 1-inch cover, 1 1/2 inch cover, 2-inch cover. Okay. Add. And then I'm going to have one that's going to have a 3-inch cover because we're going to need that when we do the footings. So 3-inch cover, and of course this is just a name, so I know what I'm looking at, and of course here I put 3 inches. Of course it's converting everything to millimeters. Okay. Okay, so now I've created the covers that I want to do, but I haven't done anything yet. Now, you'll notice that where we created those covers, right next to it, edit rebar cover here, okay? You have one that shows a completely red one, and then one that only shows one side red. So if I leave it on this one, and I pick the element here, like the wall, it's gonna give me the same cover all around, no matter what, okay? If I pick this one, okay, if I pick this one, then it's only gonna edit the side of the element that I'm going to be editing the cover. So one is for the whole element, the other one is just for the side. Now, in this case here, what I'm going to do, okay, for example, I'm going to pick this element here. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna go to element here like this, okay? And I'm gonna, sorry, cover. Oh, sorry, I hate when this, because I have all these menus popping down, okay? So there, get out of my face. So I'm gonna go to cover. Now I'm gonna pick this, okay? And of course, I'm gonna pick the wall, okay? Now, here we said that the cover was 1.5 inches. So I'm gonna pan this out here and I'm gonna say 1.5 inches. And that's the one I want, okay? And if you might not notice it, but if I press escape, okay, now when I go back here, it has changed the distance here from 1 inch to 1.5 inch, okay? So that's, okay, that's the cover there. Now, I'm gonna do the same thing for the stairs, okay? So if I pick the stairs and I'm gonna put 1.5 inch, okay? Now it's changed the cover for the stairs for 1.5 inch, okay? Now, if I want to leave this at 1 inch, I can leave it at 1 inch, okay? Now, I'm gonna show you what, like, for example, these footings, okay? These footings, well, the underside should be at 3 inches, okay? The underside should be at 3 inches. So I'm gonna put 3 inches. Now you'll notice that it's been 3 inches all around because I picked the element. But on the sides, if I put formwork here, I'm allowed to go down 2 inches. So I'm gonna change this and I'm gonna click one side and I'm gonna go back to 2 inches. And then I'm gonna click the other side and I'm gonna go back to 2 inches. So this is what's required, okay? If it's gonna be an interior footing, okay, in other words, if it's not gonna be outside, I can go down to 1.5 inch on the side. And then on this side here, if I want, I can literally not have any cover whatsoever. So that's, and then of course, I would have to do the same thing for this footing here. So in other words, I would come here where I can do this. I can pick this, change this to 3 inches, and then pick this, change that to 2 inches. So that's how I change the cover. So it's very important. The first thing you edit is always a cover so that the program will put the steel in the right distance away from the face of the element that you're reinforcing, 2 inches, okay? So there you have it. Okay, so now that we've adjusted the cover, okay? Now that we've adjusted the cover, I'm gonna escape, get out of there, okay? Now, I'm gonna start placing some reinforcement. I'm gonna start placing reinforcement. Do you want me to start with the wall or the stairs? What do you guys want?
The wall.
Okay, so I'm gonna place the reinforcement in this wall here, okay? So basically, oh yeah, first things guys, the only way you can place reinforcement is in section. If you don't have a section, you cannot place reinforcement with rivet. You cannot place it in elevation and so on. It's got to, you have to create a cross section in order to place reinforcement, okay? That's number one. Okay, so now, I don't know if you got, okay, so look at here. This is rebars, okay? So this is what I want to place, rebars. Oh, guys, it's 2:42. We usually take a break around this time, right? Okay, so let's place the rebars on the wall and then we'll take a break and we'll come back. How's that with everybody, okay? So this is rebars here, okay? Now, here it says the rebar shape will not be, you won't see anything here because of the stupid, you guys don't see this, right? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we see it. The
I
little
have the
message.
same problem.
Okay, you have the same problem. Okay, but anyways, like, okay, guys. So this is your rebar shape browser. Okay. Now, so in other words, you can have a straight bar. You can have one that has 280-degree hooks. So these are all the different shapes that you can have with that's already built into the program. Okay, so this is your shape browser. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is that we're probably going to come and use this one when we do the piers. Okay, and then we're going to come up. Most likely, okay, so, or we might decide to use, but we're going to start with the straight bar. So first thing you got to make sure of that, make sure you're on a straight bar. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. Now, if guys, don't panic. If you accidentally close your browser here, if you accidentally close it, don't panic. go here where it says shape, next to the 3 dots, you click here, it brings the browser back. So these little 3 dots up here allows you to bring the browser back. So don't panic, there's a way to get it back, okay? So right now, I'm placing straight bars. That's number 1. Number 2, okay? What bar size does the wall have?
Number 4.
Number 4 is a bar size. In other words, it's got 4/8 of an inch diameter bar. So in other words, that's a 1/2 inch diameter. So if I come here, okay, you'll notice that I've downloaded for you the imperial size in this file, okay? If you don't use this file and you can't find number 4 and you only have the metric one, that's because you have to go to the imperial, US imperial, and download the shapes. So that's why I wanted everybody not to panic. So I've already done this for you, okay? So here's number 4 bar. So that's number 4. Now don't panic. If you forget to put the bar size, you can change it at any time in the properties palette. So that's okay. So that's number 4. Fair enough. Now, the other thing I want you to look at, okay? You notice like when I put my cursor, I see like a not sign here. Everybody sees that? You see? That means I cannot place bars here. I cannot place bars here. Oh, I can place bars here because this element is in cross section. Oh, I can place bars here because it's in cross section. Oh, I can place bars here. In other words, Revit only allows you to place bars in cross sections, okay? So if you see a 0 sign, that's because you're not within a cross section of the instant or the element that you want to reinforce. Once I do this, oh, there's my, I can place it. That's number 1. That's why you see the 0. Now, here is my current working plane. Like I told you, Revit needs planes in order to do its calculation. Leave this the way it is. Now, parallel to working plane. In other words, if I put, I'm going to show you the difference between parallel to working plane. Parallel to cover is almost the same thing as perpendicular to working plane and so on. And then there's, I tend to use these two, parallel to working plane, perpendicular to cover. Parallel to working plane, and I'll show you the difference, okay? So this, and I'll do it, and then you guys can. Now, the other thing you can tell Revit is, am I placing only 1 bar? If it's yes, leave it here, it's single. Now, with Revit, I have a number of choices. I can put a fixed number. If I'm putting only 3 bars, I put a fixed number, and then I give what the number is. Maximum spacing. So in other words, I can tell Revit, don't put in more than so much. In our case, if we look at the wall, it says number 4 at 12 inches. So that would be a maximum spacing. And of course, this is where I would change this to 12 inches. Okay. So now I told Revit what you're going to be putting, okay? Now let me show you the difference between parallel, okay, parallel to the working surface. This is parallel, you see? So in other words, it puts the thing parallel to the working surface, and this is perpendicular. You see, and you see the dots, okay? So right now, we'll start by placing parallel, okay? So just zoom in. As soon as you could get into, right into the cover, just click, and there's your bar. Okay? Now, you also have the same information with regards to the ones that are in the horizontal position. So therefore, you go to click perpendicular to cover, and just go back, go in, just move them over a bit. Now, if you want to be anal about this and place them a little bit more accurate, okay? What you can do is here where you're at the bottom, you have level of details. If you put fine, it actually shows you the thickness of that bar, okay? So if you want to be a little bit more precise, you can actually put that and then put it right next to it. And that would be, and of course, once you're happy with it, you press escape. And now, and then at the bottom here, I'll go back to course because all I want to do is see one line. And there you go. So now this is, now you'll notice that the bar here happens to go here into the footing. Well, I don't want it to go into the footing, so I can simply drag it up. Okay, and of course, so there's my rebars. Okay, and if the top here is, and if for whatever reason I don't want this here, I can I can take this here and I can bring it, I'm sorry, not that. I want to take this here. So now I can adjust where I want the bars, okay, as I want them. Because don't forget, now, in theory, the reason why Revit is very precise on putting the quantities, because when you do the quantity takeoff, Revit is going to calculate exactly the length of these number 10 bars that you have in this element, okay? And that's how you put the rebars in the wall. Now, guys, we're going to be doing it for the stairs. We're going to be doing it for the footing. So right now it's 2:40. How about a 10-minute break and then we get back for 3 o'clock? Is that okay with everybody? Because the sooner we get back, the sooner we'll be able to. Is that okay with everybody?
Sure. Yeah.
Somebody have a question? Now, okay, so take a break, be back by 3, and then we'll continue. If there's any questions, I'll answer them after the break, no problem. I'll repeat this, and then we'll just keep going, and then we'll put the bars in for the stairs, and then we'll put the bars in for the footings, and so on, okay? So, see you guys at 3 o'clock, okay?
Come back.
Thank you. Start sharing again. Okay, before I go on, sorry, I got my mouth full of cheese. Does anybody have any questions at this point? And don't worry, we're going to be putting a lot of reinforcement, so we'll get a lot of practice. Okay, now, excuse me. So now we'll put in the reinforcement for the stairs. And like I said, okay, we've adjusted the cover for the stairs. That's not a problem. So basically you go to rebar, okay. Save project, okay. Okay, now, like I said, you have to have the information in order for you to be able to put into the program. So if you look at it says that the bars are going to be, the ones that are going this way to support the slab are going to be number 5 at every 6 inches. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to worry about, like I said, this thing's in the way, but it doesn't matter. So I'm putting in straight bars, so I make sure I'm on the right bar size, okay? Then here, I'm going to change this to number 5 bars. In other words, 5/8 inch of diameter. And I am now going to be placing them parallel to the work plane. And there's going to be a maximum spacing. And now, of course, the maximum spacing, according to what I see on the drawing, they say 6 inches. So I'm going to put in 6 inches. Now, guys, if you don't do this correctly, it won't make a difference to the drawing. But if you're ever going to be pulling out schedules, like we did for the footings, and you want to make sure you got the right quantity of steel, this is where all that information becomes very important. So now, just to double check, I'm using number 5s. I'm parallel to the surface, and if this doesn't happen to be good, doesn't matter. I'm going to just go ahead and change it. Maximum spacing of 6 inches. I'm using straight bars. And now, when I come in here, well, I simply put it as close as possible to my cover. Click, and it's there. Now, you don't see it, but there's going to be each bar is at 6 inches away in the slab, okay? And if, no, let's get out of the command, okay? Now, if for whatever reason you find that this bar is too long, you can drag it down to the length you want. You see here, it's about here. Like, guys, this is just graphical, so don't worry about it, okay? That's about right there. So that's about it. So you can adjust the length. And if you know the actual length of the bar, you can actually click on it, okay? And if you go in the properties bar, you can actually put the right length here of B. And of course, it's going to put in the exact length that you want. So that's how you can adjust that. if you happen to know the exact length. So now, those are the ones that are supporting slabs. Now, the ones that are perpendicular to those number 5s or number 4s, just like the walls, number 4 at 12 inches. So what I'm going to do is go to rebars again, structures, go to rebar. Now, of course, I'm no longer with the number 5. I'm going to change this to the number 4. And like I said, if you make the mistake, you just click on it, go change the bar size. The program will do it for you. Just make sure I'm picking the right bars. Now, I am no longer placing them parallel to the surface. I'm going to be placing them perpendicular. In other words, I'm going to be seeing the round. So perpendicular, you see the round. You're doing a cross section across the bar. So I'm going to be perpendicular. And of course, I'm going to do some maximum spacing. And in this case here, it's this is the thing I find tiring about Revit. Like instead of me putting 12 inches and keeping that as a constant until I change it, it always goes back to 4 inches, which is a pain in the butt. But hey, you live with what you have. And of course, now I put in all the information. I can double check number 4s, okay, straight bars and perpendicular. And of course, now if I come in here, okay. And like before, if I want to make sure that I don't put it too close and I'm putting it far enough, I can come in here and ask for some fine detail. That's going to give me the actual size of the bar. Okay, and I can just, so it helps me guide where I should put this one. So, of course, I don't want to see it. I want to see it coarse. And there you go. Okay. Now, like I said, if you don't want this bar all the way up here, press escape, get out of the command. If you don't like this bar all the way up here, click on it and drag it down to where you don't want it anymore. Okay, you can move that down. So you can adjust your bars. So you don't want to see this one over here, and you can move it up. So, okay, so you can adjust your the graphics, and it's also just the number of bars. So now you've placed the ones for the stairs. Now, of course, you happen to have, like if you need to place one bar here because it asks for one number 4 in the nosing, then you can go, of course, place reinforcement. Okay, this is just so like now you number bars. It's a single bar, so leave that the way it is. You're going to be perpendicular to the cover. It's a straight bar. And just pick one of the nosings where you want to put that bar in. So you're going to have that there, so therefore you can go and detail that afterwards. Okay, and that's a single bar. So there you go. Now, of course, if you were doing this accurately, okay, because you want the program to calculate the rebars, you should be putting one at every nosing so that the program can actually calculate the quantities, the correct quantities. But right now, we're just worried about the graphics. Okay, now, now, you'll notice here, okay, up here, there's a very weird shape bar. Everybody sees that? Like if you look at the bar, okay, if you look at the bar up here, okay, there's a very weird shape bar. It looks like this. It starts here, it goes like this, it goes around, and it goes down like that. Okay, that's why, I mean, it's a, okay, so that's the bar that, now if you can go through all these shapes and you probably won't find it. So what you can do is you can actually draw one with Revit, okay? And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna draw one with Revit. So I apologize with these menus all over the place. Okay, maybe I should just hide. There you go. How's that, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hit it this way. It's going to be out of my face. Is that okay? Now, what I'm going to do is, of course, I'm going to, like, as far as the information goes, it's exactly the same information. So if you look at the drawing, those were number 5s at every 6 inches. So if you look at the drawing, they asked for number 5s at every 6 inches. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure I pick the right bar size, number 5. There, I've got the right bar size. And then after that, I'm going to be placing them, because I want to see the profile, I'm going to be placing them parallel to the work plane. Okay. And guys, if you happen to pick the wrong one, before you place it, just go back and change how you want to place them. Okay. Parallel, well, this is also fun. We won't talk about that. One day we'll go through that. And of course, again, maximum spacing. And of course here, I want to put them at every 12 inches. So now you'll notice that it's picking this bar here, but I don't want to pick this bar. What I want to do is I want to sketch a bar. Everybody sees that? Sketch rebar. So I'm going to click on sketch rebar. Now I'm just going to sketch it here, okay? So I'm going to start about here. So I picked where I'm going to sketch it in, and I'm going to take this drawing tool, and I'm simply going to, like, for example, I'll sketch it from here to there, and then I'm going to curve down and go down to about, that's good enough, okay, to about there. If I'm happy with my sketch, press escape.
How did you curve it?
Just, you don't curve it, you just come down. It's going to curve it itself, the program, okay? And of course, if I press OK, there's the bar. And now I can do whatever I want. I can move it out of, I can take it and I can move it up if I want, or I can leave it there, okay? So you can actually sketch the bar, okay? Now the nice thing is that by putting all the properties, this bar in the program is a number 5 and you'll have them at every 6 inches. But that's your sketch, okay? Now, I find that sketching sometimes is much faster than actually putting in the bar, okay? So for example, sometimes I want to put a straight bar here, but since this is a host and that's a host, I have to put it here and then drag it down. So what I do in that case is, for example, I'm going to now, for example, put the little dowel that goes from this wall into this footing here, in the footing. So instead of me putting a straight bar and then dragging it down, I'm going to use the same thing. I'm going to say stretch, okay? So in other words, I go to structures, rebars. Here I know I'm using a number 4 for the dowel. Number 4. And of course, I'm using, and here is number 4 at every 12 inches. So I'm going to put a maximum spacing at 12 spacing, and I'm going to change this to 12. Okay, inches. Put the inch side because for some reason this thing is seeing everything in metric. And now I'm going to tell it to sketch. So I'm going to take this element here to sketch it. And I'm simply going to start somewhere about here and go straight down. And this way I can go through both elements at the same time. Go to about there. I'm happy with my sketch. I simply press the check mark and there you go. And if I want to make it a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, I could simply like stretch it, or you understand? And I find that that's the fastest way. When you have to go through 2 hosts for the bars, that's probably the fastest way. And now I'm going to let you practice on your own because you're going to do this for next week because I want you to sketch the bar in here, okay? And I want you to put the rest of the reinforcement in this wall. Now I'm just going to show you I'm going to do one last reinforcement for you, and then I'm going to leave this up to you. I'm going to show you, for example, in the footing, okay? We have 3 number 5s in the footing. So therefore, I'm going to go to rebars, okay? Rebars. And I'm going to put number 5s. And I'm going to have here fixed number. And now by default, it says 3, that's good. And of course, I want to put it perpendicular to the cover. Okay. And then I want to go and put them in here. And since I have the same thing in this one here, I'm going to go and do it right away in here. Okay. So you might as well put them in because they're exactly the same thing. Oh, I made a mistake. Those are number 4 at every 36 inches. Okay. So, oh, sorry. No, those are 3 number 5s. Okay. Now, the bars that are going perpendicular to these are number 4s. Okay. So this, do the same thing. Like I'm going to go to rebars. I'm going to go to number 4s.
You said it was 6 inches, right?
Sorry?
You said it was 6 inches, right?
Well, no, like right now, which one, 6 inches?
The one that we were just doing.
No, those were three fixed, those were 3 bars, like 1, 2, 3. So I put 3 bars in there, 3
Oh.
number 5s, okay? It was a fixed number. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the ones that go across here, okay? So now I'm going to parallel, in other words, it's gonna be parallel to that work surface. And here I'm gonna put a maximum spacing, and there they see that it's number 4 at every 36 inches. So I'm gonna put a maximum spacing of course, here I'm gonna put 36 inches, 36 inches, okay? Now, if you don't put this in graphically, it won't make a difference, okay? 36 inches, and they are straight bars. Number 4 is 36 inches, so I can put them here. I can put it right there. And of course, I'm gonna might as well put one in this footing here at the same time. Okay, so now you guys should have all the information to be able to complete the rebars in this wall, even sketch that bar, okay? Practice, guys, like it's easy for me. I've been doing it for a while, so don't worry about it. Now, I wanna start doing some annotations so you guys are on the right ball, okay? Don't forget, okay? Now, I wanna show you something, okay? If you notice, okay, whenever you wanna annotate a bar in cross section, first of all, let me get out of this command, okay? If you notice that if ever you want to annotate a bar that's in cross section, you'll notice that if you look at the drawing, okay, what they do is they draw a circle around it, okay, and then they point to the circle. They never point to the bar itself. If you look at the detail, that's, in other words, number 4 at every 12 inches. So if you want to annotate that, you don't point to the bar. You have to draw a circle and then point to the bar, okay? So that's the way, that's the proper, and then if you're pointing to these bars, then you can point directly to the bars. So in other words, these you can point directly to the bars and annotate them, but the ones that are in cross section, you should always draw a circle on the outside and point to the circle. So therefore, because when this thing gets printed at a very small scale, you're not sure if you're pointing to this or if you're pointing to that. So that's the graphical difference between the two. And that's something that you should keep in mind if ever you're detailing some steel on your drawings. Okay, so now, to do this, it's very simple, okay? What you do is, of course, now I don't care, I'm gonna pick one bar, I don't care which one, I'm gonna pick the one down here, okay? Now, if I wanna detail this, so I'm gonna go to annotate. I want you guys to all go to annotate, okay? And of course, I want you to do a line detail. Now, make sure you're on lines here, not hidden lines. Now, the only difference is that this is a drawing tool I'm going to use. I'm going to draw a circle. So I'm going to draw a circle, and I'm going to come in here. And I'm just going to stretch it out to the size I want, press escape, and there's my circle. Okay, so I can draw a circle, and now I can point. Now, when I want to annotate this one, well, I go to text here. And I'm going to use a straight. I'm going to use a straight one. Okay. So I'm going to pick here. I'm going to draw out. Okay. And these are number 4s at 12. And I might as well put the inch sign. Okay. Now, that's one thing I don't like about the stupid program. It makes it all crooked. And then, okay. So now I can play around with this if I want. Okay. I can take this and I can move it. Okay. And so on. Now, if, for example, you like to have the, okay, if I click on here, okay, if I want to have a full arrowhead, right? Then what you can do is you can say, go in here and do edit type. And here, for example, where it says leader arrowhead, if you click here, these are all the options you have, okay? So you can have arrowhead filled, 30 degrees. And if I press OK, there, it gives me the fixed arrowhead. So if you want to see like that, just edit the type. And now from here on in, every time you take these leaders, it's going to have a fixed arrowhead. You can do the same thing with your dimension lines. If you want to have a filled arrowhead, you simply click on it, go edit the type, put filled, it's going to give you a filled arrowhead. Okay, so that's going to give you, okay. Now keep in mind, like if you want to dimension this wall, don't forget, use a line, understand? Go from here to here, of course, just put it wherever you want, and then drag this out, okay? And that's, you've dimensioned the wall, okay? Now, and don't forget, if you need to show that this is at elevation 91.3, don't forget, when you're under annotate, spot elevation, okay? There, okay? And then you can do this, and you can put it wherever you want, and you can even change this if you want, okay? So you can use the spot elevation to, I'm surprised that, okay? So there's your spot elevation. So you don't have to put a, understand, you can use a spot elevation, and you can rotate this if you want and all that. So that's the other thing you can do for the annotation. One last thing I want to show you on the annotation is that you'll notice that you know how to dimension, but one thing I want to show you is this way you guys can have the tools to be able to do your work next week. I'm going to do an align here, okay? Sorry, not linear, not linear. I want to do a line. So I want to measure from here to here. Of course, I'm going to put it about there. Okay. Now, I'm going to put it there. Now, if I click on the text, I can change the text. I can say replace with. Okay. I can put replace with 16 TREADS at 10 inches equals 13 feet dash 0 inches. And press OK, and there you go. Now, if you don't like the text there, okay, if you don't like the text there, and you want to move the text a little bit closer to the dimension line, of course, you can just click on it, and you can drag it wherever you want if you want to bring it in a little bit closer. Now, be careful when you bring it closer. You notice that it gives you a leader line here. Okay, so if you take here, click, remove the leader line, it gets rid of it. If you want to drag it a little bit closer, you can drag it a little bit closer, and you can remove that leader line. But don't worry about it. It's
Sir?
yes.
So for the dimension text, you click on the text and then it gives you this little
It gives you that menu. Like, for example, I can do it right here. For example, I'm going to do a line from here to here, right? That's okay. So I can place it, right? Then I click on the text, and then I say replace with, and I write whatever I want here.
I see, okay.
Now, sometimes, like Virgil, let's say that you want to just put something, you want to keep the 9 feet 4 inches, okay? Okay? Like, I'll give you an example, okay? Here, I'm going to keep the 9 feet 4 inches, and I'm going to put below, okay? And I'm going to write 16 risers, okay, at, what is it, at 7 inches, right? Now, look at this. Okay, and there you go. You see? I can do that. You follow what I'm saying? I can write text above my, if I want to keep the dimension, just put additional text. I can put some above it, I can put some below it, or I can replace it completely. So if I want to replace it completely, then I simply, see? Like in other words, I go here, I click on the text, and then of course, I can get rid of this. Okay, and then here I'm going to put replace by, and then I put whatever I want here, 16 risers, and then make it equal to, okay? Okay, now the last thing I want to show you, okay? What else? So everything else, guys, you should be able to do based on what we've done so far. The only thing that you guys don't know how to do now is how to hatch, right? I will show you how to hatch. Fair enough? I'll show it to you one place, and then I'll probably show it to you on the most difficult place underneath the stairs, or I'll do one and I'll do both, okay? Okay, so now to hatch, guys, okay? So for example, hatching, like you notice you have some earth hatching here, okay? So to hatch, what you do is you go to annotate. Is everybody on annotate? Unless I hear no, I'm gonna continue.
Yep.
Okay. So, good. And then here you see region, right? So this is hatching. In other words, you're gonna be a region. You're gonna be filling the region. You're not gonna be masking the region. So you're gonna fill the region, okay? So now, it wants you to draw a region. So take this tool here, okay? And simply draw a region. Like that's good enough. Don't forget, you still have to put your break line in here, okay? So there's your region, right? Fair enough. And if I press click, there you go. Now, what I want to do is I want to get rid of those boundaries that are around my hatching, okay? In other words, I want to get rid of the boundaries that are below it and on the side. So I'm going to do edit boundaries, okay? I'm going to do this and this, and I'm going to make it invisible. Press OK. Now, you notice that, now, the thing is that that's not the pattern that I want. So if I click on the pattern here, and I right click, and I do edit, okay. So here we have surface patterns, right?
Where do we click to get this menu?
Okay. What you do is, I'll go back. Like you pick it, right click, and you say override graphic in view. Okay. Now you can do it by category, you can do it by element. By category, every time you do this, it's going to be sent. So like I'm going to do it by element or by you can categorize it. Since you're only doing grass, you can do it by category, but I'll do it by element. Now here are the patterns. So you click this out, okay? You just pan down until you find the one you want. Oh, there's earth. That's good. Okay, fair enough. Now, I'm going to press OK, and I'm going to press apply. Now look at it, okay? Okay, so you see that it's not very nice because the scale is all off, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it again, okay? I'm going to do this again. I'm sorry, click on it, right click. I would override graphic by element, okay? And the earth here, okay? And if I double click on the earth, sorry, let me just do that again. I screwed up there. Sorry about, apologize about that. Like I said, override graphics by element, pattern, earth. Okay. Now, if I double click on this, I have a scale here. Okay, so I can make it smaller. So let's make it 0.25. Okay, press OK, press OK, press OK, and look at that. So if you like that, you can play with the scale, okay? Now, if you find that that's too condensed, well, you can change it to 0.5, whatever you want. But there you go, okay? So there's your hatching. Now, when you're doing it here underneath the stairs, okay? Unfortunately, underneath the stairs, I'm gonna do it for you because then you guys will be able to do it here. I do not suggest you use a rectangle because it's very hard. If you're gonna do the hatching again, region underneath the stairs, fill region, I would use this drawing tool right here. I would use the lines, okay? And then what I would do is I would draw a line there. And guys, don't be too crazy about there. About there. About there. So I would actually, don't worry that if it's not straight, you don't care. and you press OK. Well, okay, before we do that, press OK. And then before I get out, I should have done it by category, but then it's good practice. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to edit my boundaries because I want to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to make it invisible. Okay. And now, of course, again, if I click here, override graphics by element. I want to change the pattern. I'm looking for the earth. Okay. Now, of course, apply, and there you go. Now, because I've adjusted it in this view, the scale is going to be the same as in this view. Okay.
Sir,
Like I said, yes.
can I share my screen on this one? I think you went too fast on that one.
Well, it's not. Yeah, I got a lot to cover.
Oh, right. It's on the video. All right, no problem.
On the video, okay? So I don't want you to say, sir, I wasn't able to put the hatching. You go back to the video and take it step by step, okay? Okay, now the rest of the stuff, is there anything here? I think that pretty well, oh yeah. Guys, don't break your heads when it comes to the rebars here, okay? I just want to, okay? Like for example, on this elevation, for example, okay? You have a rebar here. Now, if you actually wanted to put into the model, you'd have to make a cross section in plan view, go and put it in plan view, give it a length, and you'll be able to, and you might not even be able to see it here. So instead of breaking your head doing that, okay, what you can do is simply, you go to stupid menus, okay, stupid menus. So for example, you are going to annotate, okay, you're going to do a line detail, a straight line. So you're going to come in here and you'll notice that you have a line that's somewhere around. You don't have to worry about it too much. It starts about here and it goes to about here, right? So this is going to represent the rebar, okay? And then after that, you're simply going to go annotate. And of course, now you can take this one here. You can go here and go there and then put in 2 number 5s, 2 dash number 5s, and there you go. Okay, so don't break your heads. The ones that are just 1 or 2 bars here and there, just use a line detail and that's going to be good enough. Okay, and okay, so that's what you should do there. And of course, you should be able to dimension here easily and so on and so on. So anything else here that we need to look at? Because I want to show you how to do the typical footings and of course the typical exterior piers, okay? So that's important. Okay, so guys, you have the tools now and I expect you to actually send me the PDF, okay? I showed you how to drag this, like in other words, make sure that you're at a quarter. Oh yeah, the other thing is, okay? Now, like I said, you always adjust, okay? If these are too high, right, you can adjust them. So in other words, this is how you, okay? Save project, okay. So remember, whenever you're doing anything that you want to, like you take the same sheet, take the C-size sheet, okay? I've already loaded a C-size sheet, okay, in this thing. So when you're gonna go to sheets, I'm gonna do it right now for you, but so for example, if these things, like for example, this is to crop, okay? What did I just do? Sorry. Oh, this shows me, sorry. Undo. Okay, so if these things are too high and you want to bring them down, you know that you can just drag them down wherever you want. So adjust that first, okay? And of course, when you're ready to do the whole thing, right? So you just simply go to, okay? You're gonna go to, for example, sheets again. And I think, okay, so here you're gonna have to click new sheet, okay? Now I gave you a C-size sheet. I've downloaded all the sheets for you in this file, okay? So you can pick the C-size sheet and of course you press okay. And there's your seaside seat. Now you're ready to drag your EE. You bring it up here, okay? And you place it where you want. Now, this is what you should adjust right away. This way you don't run into problems later on, okay? And there you go. Now you got your EE, and then you're going to be putting your other ones here, okay? Your typical details here and so on and so on. But do this only, you can do this right now, and then as you're editing your EE, believe it or not, Revit is going to automatically put everything into this view here, okay? So that's what you're going to do here, and then here you're going to be putting your typical pier, and we're going to do that right now. The typical pier, and we're going to show you how to do the typical exterior piers and the walls, okay? So that's going to be, and like I said, this you can move wherever you want. Okay, so right now I want you to notice that the scale here is 1/4 inch is equal to a foot, right? Well, and as soon as you drag something else here into a different, it's going to automatically change this as indicated, okay? Here, of course, I want you to put assignment number 7. Assignment, anyways, you know how to spell better than I do. Okay, assignment number 7. And if you remember, like, put your name and so on, okay?
Sorry, do you mind just showing how you crop and drop it on the sheet again?
Yeah, who's asking me the question? Because I can't see the name.
Christopher.
Sorry?
It's Christopher.
Christopher, once you have your sheet on, all the views that you have here, even my all the views I got here, I can put on the sheet. That's number 1, okay? The thing is that if I want to put this view on the sheet, I click on it, hold your finger on your button, hold it down, okay? And then drag it onto your sheet. Now I can't do it because I already have it here. I'm going to get an error message, you understand? See, it says I already have one, so I can't do that. I can't have 2 views. I can only have 1 view at a time. But for example, if, where's the...
And what size sheet did you take? Sorry.
This is C size, 17 by 22.
Is it normal that my drawing is too big? Like, or is it because it's...
If it's too big, that means that you didn't change in the corner of your paper. You don't have it at 1/4 inch is equal to a foot. If you go back to EE, but if you didn't change it, I said it correctly. So if you haven't changed that, if you're working with my drawing,
Yeah, exactly.
you shouldn't have a problem. Because maybe first of all, did you pick a C size sheet? You might have picked a B size sheet by accident.
No, I took the C size.
And it doesn't fit?
No.
Then just delete that sheet and go take a D size. I don't care, you understand? And try it on a D size sheet. Because it doesn't matter, when you're going to print, you're going to, fit to the, you understand? Okay, so that's, okay, what else I wanted to show you? Sheets. Oh yeah, like remember I told you, like, let me go back to my sheets here. Okay, so remember I told you that if you make a schedule, you can drag a schedule onto your sheet. There you go. Okay, of course you'd have to adjust it and everything else, but there you can actually drag schedules, okay, and so on, okay. And of course you'd have to refine it, so, but you can have, like, for example, you can, make it so that it fits nicely, and you can go ahead and change a whole bunch of things, but all in due time. I believe that the Dwg II class should be dedicated totally only to Revit, if you guys really want to learn more and more about Revit, you understand? But unfortunately, my department still insists on teaching manual drafting, which I think is historic, archaic, and dinosauric, you understand? And that's on the video. And I've had that opinion for over 10 years now. Okay, next. Okay, so now let's go back to EE. Where's my sections? Okay, so basically we're back here. Like I said, you should have the tools to be able to complete this drawing completely by next week and have it printed. Now, let's look at the typical piers and footings. I'm going to show you one of the easiest way to do that with Revit. So let's go to elevation 91.33. Everybody should be on that 91.33. Oh, by the way, guys, these are the rebars that you're seeing here now, okay? So that's spaced at every 6 inches, that's spaced at every 12 inches, that's what you're seeing here. And of course, if you don't want to see these rebars in your things, you simply click on it, right click, hide in view, hide category. Don't put hide category, just hide this element in view. And then click here, because if you hide the category, you can hide any rebar, hide element in view. So cancel. So there you go. And then, like I said, if ever you want to see them back again, click here, and these are the hidden ones you unhide in view, okay? So now, what we're going to do is pick one of these typical situations here, okay? I don't care which one you take, because it doesn't make a difference at this point. But we're going to take one, and we're going to start by, we have to make a cross section in order to put the rebars in this typical pier here, okay? So let's go to view, go to sections, okay? And draw a section. In other words, pick a point, drag it, pick a point, bring this down a bit. This is good enough, okay? And if this is too big, you can do this, okay? So there you go. This is, if I don't make a cross section, I would not be able to put reinforcement in this footing and in this pier. That's the only way I can do it. Now, okay, so now what I'm going to do is, of course, I'm going to go to the cross section. I'm going to double click on here and bring me straight to the cross section. And of course, this is what I see. And of course, I don't need all these things here. So I click on one, right click, hide category and view. And at the same time, I don't need this either. So pick it, right click, hide category, hide category in view. And of course, this is my crop. Okay, I can make it a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. So always adjust always crop it so when you drag it onto your sheet. Now, first thing I want to do is make sure I'm putting everything. Eventually, I'm going to drag this onto my sheet at about 3/8 of an inch is equal to a foot. So the first thing I'm going to do is come here and adjust the scale. So this way, by adjusting the scale, all my annotations, everything will be at the right scale when I drag it onto the sheet. So I'm going to adjust this to 3/8 of an inch is equal to a foot. Okay, you don't see anything here, but it does adjust all the annotations and everything else that you're going to be putting on this view, okay? So make sure you've changed this to 3/8 of an inch is equal to a foot. Now, of course, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this pattern here, so I'm going to put override graphics in view by element here, or should I put by category, okay? And I'm going to put here, I don't want to see no patterns whatsoever, either in the foreground or the background. And put apply, okay, and of course I got rid of that. Now, just like, for example, just like what we did for the things. Now, first thing I worry about is adjusting the cover. So I'm going to go to structures, okay? And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a 3-inch cover at the bottom. And here they also want a 3-inch cover on the side. So therefore, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to cover. Okay, I'm going to make sure I pick the element, not the side. Okay, and then I'm going to come here and pick this, and I'm going to pan this out to 3 inches. And then now you see that it's got a 3-inch cover all around. And now, for the columns themselves, I don't think there's any specific requirement, but I can tell you for the columns, if they're interior columns, okay, it should be an inch. It should be 1.5 inches, okay? It should be 1.5 inches. So I'm going to pick this. I'm going to change this to 1.5 inches. I know this as a structural engineer, okay? Okay, now what I don't want is that all of a sudden when I put my bars, I don't want it to stop there. I want it to come and touch here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this. I should have had one cover where it was 0. I should have, I'll go back and change one, okay? Add, okay? And now I'm gonna put 0 inches. Zero inches, and of course I'm going to change this to 0 inches. Apply, okay. And now if I come to the side and I pick, oh, okay, I can't pick, okay, first, okay, it's picking the one, okay. Anyway, I'll just adjust the bars, but I should have done that before. Okay, so guys, what I'm going to do is, like here, I know this is the footing that I'm putting the rebars in. I might as well put in the right rebars. This is footing F1. There's 10 number 8s each way, okay? So therefore, I'm going to go to rebars. If I look at the schedule, there's straight bars, that's number 1. Number 2, they're number 8s, in other words, 1 inch in diameter, fairly big. And there is a fixed number of bars. And I know I have 10 of them. Okay, 10 of them. And here I'm going to start by parallel. Well, first I'm going to put them, parallel to the surface, parallel to the plane. So I'm going to put this one in here first. And then I'm going to go to perpendicular because I have the same thing in the other one. I'm going to come in here. And there you go. Okay. So those are the bars for the footings, okay? And now, let's put in the ones for the columns, okay? Now, okay, so escape. Now, for the columns, I'm not gonna break my head. I know that I'm just gonna put them in and then I can adjust afterwards. So for the columns here, okay, I'm going to put in bars for the columns. They're going to be straight bars. Now, the columns, they can be number 8s, like here, for depending which one I'm looking at, C3, C3, C3. 8 number 9s, okay. Eight number 9s. Okay, so there's 8 number 9s. So what I'm going to do is, well, for now, I'm just going to put 2 of them in. So I'm just going to put a single bar, okay? And it's going to be parallel to the working surface. I'm going to put a number 8, doesn't matter. And I'm going to put 1 on this side, and I'm going to put 1 on that side. Okay, so those, now, like I said, here, these bars will not go past the cover. So what I can do is I can click on this, and I can simply stretch it down now. That's one way of overcoming that little, okay, or I could have set the cover there to 0. So therefore, anyways, that's like I said, the more a little tweaking you do, the less you have to go back afterwards. Now, as far as the ties go, those are number 3s at every 12 inches. So first thing I'm going to do is go and rebar. And of course, what shape do I have? I'm going to go down and look for a shape to see if I have a tie shape. And I'm going to use a T2 shape, okay? So that's the shape. And as far as the bar size goes, it's going to be a number 3. And as far as the spacing goes, they're at every 12 inches, maximum spacing, 12 inches. And now I'm going to be placing them, of course, parallel to the working plane. Doesn't work, so therefore I'm going to go to perpendicular, and there you go. So guys, don't worry, you can come up here before you actually click. You can actually instance on perpendicular, and there you go. And if you like that, just click, and now those are in. Okay, So now, as far as those dowels go, right? If you want the dowels, okay, don't break your head. I mean, like there are specific dowels there, but what you can do for the dowels, you can simply say, do the same thing. Like in other words, and then you can modify if there, but you can just draw them in very quickly. So in other words, you can do the rebars, okay? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna be using number threes. Use number threes. You are going to be putting them parallel to the working. No, this doesn't make a difference because you're gonna be sketching. Just make sure you, so, and you're gonna use a single bar. You're gonna use a sketch, okay? This is it. Okay, so now you're ready to sketch that dowel. And therefore, how does the dowel go? It starts about here, about there. It goes down to about there. And then you go over to about there. And if you're happy with it, just press finish. And there's your dowel, okay? Now, if you want to put it a little bit lower, you simply pick on it, move it down. Move it down. I want to make it a little bit lower. Now, if you want to get it to look exactly the same thing on the other side, then you click on it, use the mirror command, but now I'm going to draw the axes. So I'm going to click on this one, and take this point here, go straight up, and there you go, okay? And there you have the dowel. Now, the rest of the detail up here, unfortunately, because we don't have the slabs and the beams, you're gonna have to do it with the graphical lines. So I expect you to put that in with graphical lines, okay? So don't worry about that. And if this is not high enough, just stretch this up a bit, okay? And like I said, now this here, I forgot what section this was, okay? I don't remember, what section was this? Okay, now if you want here, okay, you can rename this and you can call this rename, okay? Rename, once you're done, rename, and you can call it typical footing and pier. Okay, you're gonna rename it. Now, if I go to my sheet, right? If I go back to my sheet here, okay? Now, if I'm ready to, once it's all done and I'm ready to drag it in, then I can drag it in and there you go, okay? So, and then you can adjust this a bit and look what happened, okay? Of course, this is gonna be all finished. You can hide this, you can hide the thing in view and all that, but there, so now you have the right name and all that. And look what happened. The scale is no longer 1/4 of an inch because you have 1/4 of an inch here and you have 3/8 of an inch there. It writes as indicated in the title block. So that's really nice, okay? And that's how you should really do it. As soon as you have two different scales on a sheet, you should always put as indicated and you indicate the scale. And like I said, if you don't want to see this, go back to your view here. Go back to your view. And of course, just remove it and it's gone. And if you ever go back, everything gets revised instantly. That's what Revit stands for. If I go back to my sheet, it's gone, okay? Now, as far, so that's that. Now let's go back to 91.33, okay? So we put some rebars in here, right? We put some rebars in here. And what we want to do now, okay, is we want to be able to make that typical interior pier, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to call out this column and we're going to make a little sketch with it. So what we're going to do now is, you notice, see the rebars that we placed? They're exactly there, okay? And in this column here, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a call out. So you go to view, everybody's on view. I'll wait 3 seconds or 4 seconds to make sure. And if I let's say here, no, I'm going to continue. And here you have call out. And you're going to make a rectangular call out, okay? So just sketch what you want to call out, okay? There's your call out. And if I double click on this, this is what I see, okay? Now, of course, now, first thing I'm going to do is like whenever I create a view, I always think at what scale am I going to eventually print this at? So I'm going to come down here and adjust my scale. This I'm going to bring in at 3/4 of an inch is equal to a foot, okay? 3/4 of an inch is equal to a foot, okay? Now, you see, okay? Now, I don't want to see this, okay? I don't want to see this, so therefore I'm going to overwrite the graphics, okay? Overwrite graphics by element. And, oh, sorry, I picked the wrong one. I should have done it cancel. I should have gone back to 9103. I should have done it here. Okay, well, I should have done it here. I'll do it by sorry. Yeah, overwrite graphics by category and remove all that fuzzy apply. Okay, now it's gone all over and I can go back to here. Now guys, if you want to know what where this is in your view browser, you come here, this is where it is, 91.33 callout, okay? So if you want, you can right away rename this to typical interior pier. Rename typical interior pier. So therefore, when you drag it, it's going to have the right name and you'll know what to drag. That's number one. And at the same time, I can now go here. And how come? Okay. Shit. For some reason, it's not getting rid of the. Hold on a second. I want to try something here. I'm just trying to get rid of that. There, I got rid of it. Okay. Drag it back and drag it back. Okay. Now, this is hidden here and all that. Don't worry about that. Because what's going to happen is, okay. Now, of course, now these, okay, you're going to want to make these solid lines, not, okay. So you can do some line work here, okay, making these solids. Now, if you notice, this is your tie that's in here, okay? There's your tie. Now, you can't see it. If you want to see it in the view, you right-click and you put, supposed to, toggle visibility. By doing that, I see my tie, okay? So if you find it, you simply go on it, right-click, and it's supposed to say toggle invisibility, and you'll see your tie. Now, what we don't see here is any rebars, right? And I'm sorry, I thought we had put some rebars in this. Oh, okay, the rebar is here. I understand. So hold on a second. I'm gonna go back to the section. Let me go back. I'm gonna put some rebars. Okay, I'm gonna go back to here. I only put one here, right? And so therefore I put it in the foreground. That's why we don't see it. Oh, here. It's this one too. Do we have three there? Yeah, we have three. So I'm just modifying the properties here. Okay. Now if I go back to my callout, I just want, I could have put them in a different way, but I just want to. Okay, so now where am I going? Where's, oh yeah, typical interior period. There, you see, there's the bars. And of course you want to toggle visibility. There's your bars, okay? So now, if you want, you can copy the bars. You can say, pick on it. Yes.
How did you make the bar visible?
Because I only had to put one bar. You see what happened, Jimmy? Let me explain to you, because you have to understand how the program works, okay? I put one bar, okay? And I put it on the near face, okay? So what happened was when I made my cross section here, it doesn't show it in the cross section. So what I did is I went back to the properties bar and I said, put 3 of them. So put 1, 2, 3 now. So that's what I'm saying. Like you can easily modify with the properties palette what you want, okay? So I put 3 bars here, okay? And at the same time, now that I put, so in other words, if you go back to section CC or go to 90, like here, I'll go back, 91.33. I came here, okay? And I picked this bar here, okay? I'm sorry, I picked this bar here, okay? And I went to the properties palette here. And it told me that, hold on, did I pick the right one? Yeah. Where was it? Here, quantity. I had 1 before and I changed that to a 3. Okay. Now, if I do the same thing here, okay. So for example, if I pick this one here and I put 3, it's going to put 3 bars. I had only put 1 when I sketched it in the first time. I should have put 3. Okay. So, and then after that, once I fixed that, I simply went back to typical interior pier. And of course, for some reason, okay. So here you go. So now I have 3 here now because I changed it to 3. And of course, if I click on it and I say toggle. Sorry, I didn't get toggle visibility, and you get to see them. Okay. Now, guys, if you don't want to go through this trouble, okay, if you don't want to go through this trouble, you can also do this. Let me show you a cheap way of doing this, okay? Can I show you this so that you guys don't have to go through all this trouble? One of the cheap ways of doing this is simply say, okay, let me go to annotate. Let me go to regions. Okay, fill region. I'm going to draw a circle. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to make it 1 inch in that. I'm going to make it about, let's see. Is that big enough? Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, because it's a 1 inch bar. And I'm going to press OK. And of course, I'm going to click on it. And then I'm going to, oh, sorry. Override graphics in view by element. And the surface pattern is going to be solid. Apply. Okay. What do you think, guys? Does it look the same? What did you think? Pretty good?
Yes.
Okay, so guys, like you don't have to break your heads instantly. The only thing is that if you put in the right information and if you want to make the model as accurately as possible and you want to use it to do other things with it, this is just graphics, okay? So in other words, so what I did here is, for example, now if I want to put this here, right? I click on it, right? And I say mirror, mirror, pick an axis. I'm going to pick this axis here, and there you go. And then of course, I have to go and override graphics in view by element, and I have to put the surface, I have to put it to solid, apply, okay. And there you go, okay? Now, if I, for example, want to show that this is a tie, right? Then what I can do is I can go to course. Fine. Okay, save project. And you notice that this is where, you can drag this out a bit, like this. You can then drag this out a bit like this, just to show that this is a tie. I'm sorry, then it moves the bar also, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And once you've done that, you simply say, go back to course. And there you have, and then of course, this here, you want to move it back to where it was. One thing about Revit, it tends to have a mind of its own, unfortunately. Oh, and there you go. You don't want it there, you want it there, and there you go. So now you show that that's a tie, and of course these lines here, okay, you can do some line work. You go to edit, you do some line work, okay. I'm going to try something. Let me try beyond. Okay, now I'm using the beyond. In other words, I'm telling you to go beyond the cut line, and it's going to make it as a solid line. Okay, so that's a little bit more of it. Okay, and that's basically it. So now you got your typical, and then of course this here. Okay, you're going to put hide element in view. Okay, and you want to hide this also. I should have hid the whole category. Sorry. So now there you go. And now if I'm ready to drag this on my sheet, I go to my sheet again. And of course, I know what I'm going to drag, so I can drag the interior typical column, and I can put it wherever I want on my sheet. Okay, and of course, I'm going to drag this out a bit. And how does that look? Pretty good. So now guys, when it comes to the corner ones, let's go to 102, okay? Okay, so you do, I'm sorry, not 102, 91.3, okay? Like I said, then here you can go and you can make a call out. Well, first start with the section, in other words, and start putting your reinforcement in here. So start with a section. Let's make a section. Let's make the section go from here. Make sure you cross the column, guys, okay? That's good. There's your section. And now that you made your section, you can go and start placing your reinforcement in the columns and so on. And after that, I would just place the ties in the columns, and then I would put everything, I would just do graphically the rest of it. So therefore, for example, I would just simply put the ties in the columns, and the rest of it I would just draw graphically. I wouldn't even bother trying to put all the reinforcement. So if I unless you want to, but I wouldn't bother doing that. So in other words, what I would do is I would go to structures, reinforcement, or understand? Structures, reinforcement, and then you put number 3s, perpendicular, and go get the ties. Maximum spacing, 12 inches. 12 inches, and of course, now that's the thing. Oh, sorry. Okay, I have to go back and change my cross section. Sorry about that. I have to go back here and move this. I'm gonna have to put it inside the column, so therefore it can actually do it in the column. I should have done it in the column, and now there's the column. So therefore, if I go back and do this, again, number 3, that's it. Maximum spacing 12 inches. And of course, there. Now the rest, like you said, if you want, you can put in a couple of bars in here. You have, for example, you can put some rebars, so you can actually, you have 2. So I'm going to put 2 rebars, 2 rebars, 2 rebars. So now I'm going to put number 8s. Number 8s. I'm going to put fixed number, and I'm going to fixed number of bars. Oops, sorry. First of all, I have to go up here. I'm putting straight bars. That's why it's always pick the number 8, straight bars, fixed number. I'm going to put 2 of them. And this one's going to be parallel to the working plane. And of course, I'm going to put 1 there. Put 1 there, put 1 there, and put 1 there. Now I got my rebars in. And the other rebars, I'll just put them in graphically, okay? So I've got my ties, I got my rebars. Now I'm gonna go back to 91.033. I'm gonna do a call out. I'm gonna call this out. Call out, view, call out, and I'm gonna call out rectangular. I'm gonna call out something about that big. And then I can always adjust it, okay? And come here, and of course, no, for some reason, I can't even see my ties for some reason. And, oh, see, it did it all incorrectly. See, there's the ties. I did all that work for nothing. It put the ties in this way, which is wrong. So, you know, like, that's why I hate about this program. Anyways, guys, like I said, this is wrong. So I would have to restart the whole thing. I apologize for that. I should have done my section correctly to start off with. And I should have done my section across the column here, not across the wall. And therefore, it would have put the ties in the column. So when you do your cross section, make sure you draw it across the column. Don't put it across the wall, otherwise it won't recognize the column. So do your cross section here. And I'd have to go back and adjust that. There, I can do that like that. Now I can go back here. So make sure you do, oh, sorry, cancel. Okay, and then of course, now you see these ties are all in the wrong place. It should be in the column here and not in the wall, and that's why I don't see them. So I would have to start over again and just delete the whole thing. Delete, and 1, 2, 3, because see now I see the column, okay, delete. Now I can go back and do it over again. I apologize, I forgot. And that's it. So guys, frustrating moments even for myself. And now go back to structures, and then we can go ahead and do the rebars. Might as well put a fixed number. 2 bars, number 8s. So you want to put 1 there, you want to put 1 there, and you want to put 1 there. Those are the 3 bars in the column. And then after that, you want to go ahead and do rebars. You want to put in those ties. Number 3s at a maximum spacing of 12 inches. And here we go. And of course, oops, parallel. And now they're in the column, they're no longer in the wall. So when I go back to my call out, I should see them properly. So if I go back to 91.33, oh, here's my call out. So here you go. You see, there's my 3 bars, okay? And there's my stirrup. So there, toggle visibility, and then of course my 3 bars are there. Oops, sorry. So you just have to go look for it. As soon as you can hover over it, just right click on it. Like here, for example, right click on it. Oh. I should be able to toggle these in. Oh, this program sometimes, guys, there you go. And all of a sudden, it's not telling. And it's not doing it. I can't get the toggle invisibility. I can't get it here. Like I said, guys, this program sometimes has a mind of its own. And that's why I wouldn't even bother. I would probably go back and delete these and just put them in graphically, understand? Delete them and put them in graphically. So, like I said, then you have a bit of line work to do, but that's basically it, guys. So I apologize, this program can be very frustrating sometimes because there's little glitches here and there. And like I said, now, like I said, for the line work, you can, for example, in certain cases, you got a stupid menu, modify, line work. So sometimes beyond works, like for example, you can say beyond and you make this line, and beyond, in other words, it goes past the cut line and it makes them solid, okay? So if you want, but in theory, what you'd have to do anyways, you're gonna have to erase these lines and redraw them. And of course, take away all the override, take away all the things, sorry, cancel. Anyway, so there you go. Now, if you want, like I said, crop this. Now, guys, like I said, always worry about the first thing you be doing before you do anything. Always make sure you adjust. Make this 3/4 of an inch is equal to a foot. You have the right, understand the right scale, and there you go. So I would simply. And there you go. Okay. And like I said, you do a bit of line work, put in the stuff graphically. Here, we even have a bar here. I would delete it. We didn't put in the bars correctly. And there you go. So then put in the bars, like I said, and if you want to show that this is a tie like they have in the thing here, click on it, go to find, see where the drag points are. Here are the drag points. So if you want, you can drag this out a bit like this. Drag this out a bit like this, just to show that this is a tie. And put it back to course. And there you go. At least it shows that it's a tie. And like I said, if you want me to show you how to put the bars in, you simply go to annotate, line detail, do a circle, just pick a point, make it about a 1/2 inch diameter. That's good enough. Okay, no, sorry, not annotate. Fill the region. You want to make a donut. Sorry, undo. So you want to go to annotate, region, fill the region. You want to draw a circle, 1/2 inch diameter, and then right click, sorry, overwrite graphics by element. That's because we haven't finished it. Okay. And all of a sudden it's not working. Isn't that great? Oh yeah, I gotta finish it, sorry. Finish it, and I can place it where I want. And make sure it's solid. Okay, apply, okay. And there you go. And now you can copy them wherever you want, and you can simply copy. Let's pick it and say copy, and do multiples. Put it about there. Put it about there. Put it about there. I should have done it by category. Sorry, guys. Do it by categories when you do the fill. Otherwise, you're going to have to go back and fix all of these up. My mistake. Like I said, I'm getting tired. Overwrite graphics by category.
Sir?
Yes,
I think we're all getting tired right now.
I understand, but I just want to give you the last information so that you guys can work on your assignment and have it done by next week, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so guys, there you go. Now I did it by category. Okay, so guys, there you go. And like I said, change the, you can change the name here. You can put typical exterior piers, rename it. So this way, when you drag it on the sheet, I should have spelled it correctly. Anyways, I didn't spell it correctly. And this way, when you drag it on the sheet, it'll have the right name. Okay, so guys, I know you're all tired, we're all saturated, but now I think you've got all the tools to be able to complete the assignment. And like I said, so once you do that, put everything on the sheet, make it into a PDF, and then send it to me by next Wednesday before 1 o'clock, and we're all good, okay? And then after that, what we'll do the week after is going to be very little. Like I said, I mean, most of it is going to be, if you do it correctly, okay, we'll put in the floor slab, and then when you do the section, the floor slab, they're already going to be there, and we'll be able to do all the sections there very, very quickly because you've done the model correctly, or at least the model I gave you is correct, and all you have to do is put in the reinforcement, and you'll be able to do the next assignment fairly quickly, okay? So, guys, I'm gonna let you struggle with it right now. I'm gonna go back to what? Okay, so guys, like I said, is there anything you want me to review at this point? Now's the time, guys.
Yeah, I had one thing to review.
What-
On elevation E, you showed us how to do the little key
You
on
do
the
which one?
footing, the little key, on
Oh, the
the
keyway.
escalator.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
the
mean
keyway. Can you
the
show
shear
that like
key?
one last time? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. See, I'll tell you, Virgil, look, let me show you something about this program that you'll understand why it's very frustrating, okay? Okay, look, I'm gonna show you it. I'm gonna do it here, okay? Because I'm not gonna be printing it, but Now I can show you a number of things to do. So let me zoom in here, okay? Now Virgil, if you drew this one correctly, right? If you drew this one correctly, you can literally copy it and paste it here.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't draw it correctly because mine
Okay.
is like my line weight is like thicker. Everything is.
Oh, okay, okay. Don't worry about the line weight. Look, if your line weights are thicker, I want you to do something, okay? Go up here. You see here on the top menu here, the express menu.
Yeah.
If you click here, it's going to change the line weights from thick to thin.
Ah, wow, beautiful.
That helps, huh? Okay, so this, like in other words, that's thick, that's thin. Okay, so you can have them thick or you can have them thin. I should explain. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, look at this, Virgil, and I want everybody to appreciate this. Okay, when I did this the first time, I had to go over it about 10 times because I looked at the video. Okay, so I'm gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna do it here. Fair enough. Now, I'm going to show you something so that you guys can appreciate why this program can be very frustrating. Okay, it has its benefits, but it still has a lot of things to overcome. Maybe 10 years from now, they'll have improved it. But so we go to view, okay, and we go to cut profile. Now look at the video. Okay, I'll show you the video. Now, doesn't the video look like you have to draw a closed loop the way they showed it there?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what it looks like, right? And then you draw a closed loop and you get an error message. Well, you don't draw a closed loop. See, the video kind of misleads you, and it shows that you have to draw. So what I did the first time is, okay, like I say, cut profile. I did here. So I come here and I start. So in other words, I move over. This is a 10-inch wall, so I want to go over 2, 4 minus 10. I'm going to go over to 3 inches. Okay. And then I went down 2 inches. Then I went over 4 inches. Then I went over 2 inches. And then I closed it just like I saw in the video. You see that? But that if you do that, you're going to get an error message.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why I find the videos are misleading. Instead of just showing you the profile, and then when you look at the video, the guy only draws 3 lines. It almost looks like you have to draw a loop. Okay, and I draw the loop so you can't have a loop. Now you press OK. Now, like I said, and it's done. Now the reason why you don't see it is, of course, okay,
because there's a hidden line. You have to put a hidden line.
Because not that it is in line. There's a line for the edge of the instance that you put in. So what you have now, you go in and you do some line work. So in other words, you do edit.
Mm-hmm.
Then you put invisible here. Okay. Invisible, and you say make that line invisible, make that line invisible. Okay, and unfortunately it made them all invisible. You see, and now all of a sudden I'm going to make this line invisible, and I'm going to make that line invisible. And I'm tired of trying to figure out to bring something in the foreground, bring it in the background. So I just take them all off. Then I go to I simply go to my annotate, line detail, make sure I'm on line, and then I just draw it. 1, 2. Escape. I'm sorry. Escape. 1, 2. And now I'm happy. You see?
Yes.
Okay. Now I could have easily, I could have picked this. I could use the copy command. I'm going to do that for now. I'll just show you. I could use the copy command. Okay. And then I could have picked this midpoint here. See? Then I could have gone all the way. Like you don't have to do it on this side. And then I can come all the way here, find the midpoint there, and there you go. Now I got a keyway in there. See?
Perfect.
Now the reason why you don't see it again, like I have to go and do some line work, understand? And that's one of the drawbacks is that the model is great, but when you want to make drawings with it, okay, so invisible, okay. And then I still have, and that's the thing, like there are so many edges, and like you notice that it's so hard to determine, like, then you make so many edges invisible, and then all of a sudden you lost most of your drawing. And then you realize, oh, screw that, understand? Okay, so then I've overcome that frustration by simply saying, well, let me just put in a detail line from here to here.
Okay. Do you mind if I share the screen like quick, like 2
Yeah,
seconds?
yeah. Go,
I'll just show you
let me
like
stop
something.
sharing. Okay, share me your screen. And guys, show me your screens, and now's the time. I'm gonna stay here until you guys.
This is how frustrating it is right now. So right now I'm at the invisible line.
Okay.
Right?
So you did your key. You did your share key. Great.
Yeah,
You
I
have
did
the
my
invisible line.
key.
That's it. Click there.
Yeah, I
Click.
clicked there for my invisible line. Nothing.
And then no, it did. You got rid of one of them, but now there's another one behind it. Click
so
again.
I'm clicking. Nothing happens.
Yeah, isn't that frustrating?
It's fucked.
Okay, and I'm telling you this now. What you have to, and I know it's really screwy, right?
Yeah.
So,
All right, that's the
oh,
only thing.
you know what your problem is? Here, go click here. Get out of escape.
Yep.
Click here. Click here. I'm sorry. Like click. Let me have control of your.
Yeah.
Okay. Request remote control. Request. Just give me the. Okay.
There you go.
So now click here. Okay. Hide category and view. Now it's gone. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So now you can go ahead and do the line work because you had the line of your level there. You understand?
Ah, I see.
Okay. Now I don't know what you did. You
Same.
draw? Did you?
Maybe I drew like a square or something. I don't know.
Well, I can tell you what we can do. Okay. We can pick this and we can delete it.
Isn't it just better to just import your drawings from AutoCAD to Revit and then just like boom, boom, put it on the...
Yeah, okay. So all that does is it tells you where your geometry is, okay? And then after that, what you have to do is you have to go and change all the properties.
Right.
You understand? You have to, so no, all it's going to do is going to help you with the drawing the geometry of your model. But after that, you're going to have to, do all the other modifications. So is it, and like, I'll show you, like you can export this. I can show you how to export this as an AutoCAD drawing and it looks like shit.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's not
I'm telling you,
it's not completely compatible. Yeah.
No, it is compatible, but it won't look as good as if you were, and then you have to go in there and you would have to start editing with your AutoCAD skills to make it look decent. Like it would give you the overall thing, but it wouldn't be a perfect, you understand?
Right. So what would be the solution for like this kind of problem when like that doesn't work, like on Revit?
In other words, when you can't get rid of the lines?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, right now the next procedure is to like do another key and then like do the
well, I mean,
line. That's it?
you can, like, in other words, like, yeah, I got rid of that. Got rid of that.
For some reason, that line is like God, the God of all lines.
No, it's because for some reason, okay, well, okay, you know what that is? When this is a graphic line that I told you to draw in before, right? Did you accidentally draw this as a graphic line also? Because then you have to delete it. There you go. That's the problem. You drew it as a graphic line. You understand? So therefore you can't make it invisible. You have to delete it.
Right. Okay. So now I just have to like draw my lines from like
like now if you want, like in other words, if you want, right? You can, you can like either, if you want, like you can draw your key graphically. You don't have to cut it anymore. Okay.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like in other words, now you can go back to annotate and you can do a line detail. Okay. So you can say draw a line. So you start here. And if you want, you can go over, that's what, 4 inches, and 4 inches about 8 inches. So we'll go over to about 8 inches, go down to about 2 inches, go over to about 4 inches, There's 4 inches. Sorry, where's 4 inches? About there. Go up 2 inches and then go over. You understand?
Yeah.
And there you go. So now you can draw the whole thing graphically.
Yeah.
Don't
I'll
even bother.
fix
Don't
the
even
rest,
bother
yeah.
cutting the profile. You understand?
Yeah.
Then you can
Alright.
draw a line. You understand? Then you can take this line here. You can stretch it here. It's got its plus sides. You understand? Like, and then you can take this line here. You understand? You can take this line here and you can stretch it here. You know, it's got its plus side version. Don't get me wrong, but there are some very frustrating things with this program. Right?
Yep.
Understand? But overall,
Thanks.
it's looking good. Okay.
That's really appreciate it.
All right, listen, and guys, you know, practice on how to put that rebar in. You know, like, that's the kind of stuff I want you to practice. Understand?
Okay.
Like I said, this here you should change. You understand? Change the text, and, you know, and all that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so now you got all
I'll
the
do that.
tools. You got all the tools, and you'll be able to work on it, you know, peacefully.
All right. I'm
Sounds
gonna
good?
stop sharing.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you.
Does anybody else want me to do something on their drawing for them, or are you all good? Just let me know.
Yeah.
Sir?
I think so.
I'm gonna go right now. I'm just saturated right now.
I don't blame you. Look, Virgil, like you think I'm not saturated?
Yeah, I feel you.
We're all saturated and we're all a little frustrated, and there's a lot to take in. You understand? But it's like AutoCAD. The more you practice, the better you get at it. The same thing with Revit. The more you practice, the better you get at it, and eventually you'll start feeling comfortable with it. You know? Okay, so listen, we'll talk. Make sure you have your assignment handed in by next week, right?
For sure.
And you know, just don't be late, because it's kind of silly, like if to be late, because you lose 50%. So make sure it's in by 1 o'clock, no later.
Okay.
And the nice thing about having sent in by Mayo is that the time is recorded on your email. So
True. All right,
that's
sir. Take care.
Stay safe, and we'll talk to you next week. Okay.
Thank you.
Christopher. Everybody's going, gone. Oh, I'm going to stop recording.